Here we go. Let's see. Are we alive? Yes, indeed. Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Aquilon here, and of course, welcome back. And if you're watching this over on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Also, hit the link in the description down below because why wouldn't you? Better when it's live, ladies and gentlemen. It is always better when it's live. Just move a couple of things around here because this tea is way too fucking hot to be drank. First, need to let it breathe a little. Yeah, just like that. Just take a breath, because this shit is like scorching fucking hot at the minute. I don't want to drink it like this. Now, don't knock it over, because otherwise it ruins a whole lot of things on my desk. Anyways, I hope that you guys are well. It is a Tuesday, and of course, Tuesday means Q&A. Yeah, we have to do some Q&A shit today. We're probably going to play some more God of War. Most likely going to be Q&A, Warhammer reactions, God of War. It's pretty much what I'm envisioning. I do have a couple of other things that I want to react to today, so we'll see. There's a couple of videos that I added to my watch later list because I saw it pop up and I really wanted to watch it. So I'll probably start with those and then work our way through. Probably watch that first. Zucchini, how you doing? Good morning to you. Yeah, we'll likely start with that. I want to see something. What is this? Oh, shit. Okay, so this is like proper... This is like proper fucking shit. This channel is conspiracy fucking central. Holy shit. Look at this. This is like the most conspiracy-driven channel I've ever seen in my life. Ace the Base, how you doing, brother? Made the van from Al. Yeah, there will be reactions, but there will also be games. Fuck. But there will be reactions today. Yeah. Just made the fan to save you some time. I basically do whatever I'm in the mood for at the time. So the plan, as things currently stand, is for reactions, right? But that can change. I do have some reactions already lined up, so that's a given. I just don't know what those reactions will be yet. Mainly because I pretty much do whatever, right? I do whatever I feel like at the time. That's my main like goal with things. Also, the request from Friday. What was the request on Friday? Sorry, I forgot. To all the Michaels, Gabriels, to all gender variations, don't shoot, please. Ace the Base, who the fuck? What? I'm using some good 40k shit. Mo, how you doing, brother? Voldemort Custodes. Oh, right. Yeah. Well, we'll see, right? I don't like Al Valentine. How you doing? I don't like sort of locking down the stream on shit, right? The one requested with beds. Yes. Okay, that one I have added to my watch later, so that one we'll definitely watch. It's St. Michael, Gabriel in my country, so spreading some love. I don't know what that means. What is that? Like, what is that holiday? DeMargo, how you doing, bro? Good, comrade? I'm happy to hear that. Like a good little Soviet. I like it. Said it with any one of those names. Ah, cool. But it's almost definitely like there's a biblical element to it, no? But yeah, I'm just kind of Metal fan to sort of answer the question a little bit more detail. Whenever I start the stream, I have a rough idea of the things that I want to do today. All right, on that specific day, but that almost always changes. Like throughout the day, something new might pop up. I might be in the mood for something different. The issue is if I go into it knowing, okay, we're just going to do Warhammer reactions, I can do about 2, maybe 3 reactions, and then I'm tired. I don't want to keep going. I don't want to react more. I'm sort of over it now, you know? And it's just because most of the time I like chatting. And you can't really chat when you're reacting because you're reacting to something. And then people come into the channel and they're like, oh, did you hear about this thing? And it's like, I don't want to ignore you, but you did just ask a question that has nothing to do with this video. So I'm going to have to ignore you, but I don't want to. So, yeah, I sort of just float to wherever the fuck I want to be or where chat wants to be. But I do, however, I have a fucking ache in me to watch something from this channel. The Y files. This is like Conspiracy Central 100%. If you're a conspiracy theorist and you don't know what the Y files channel is, you have not been paying attention, bro. My brothers love this channel because this guy basically he investigates every single conspiracy there is. We all pray to the same dude when shit hits the fan. This is true. Who said it is a dude? So give me what dude? Oh, God. I think it's fairly well established that God would be a guy. At least religiously. Theoretically or in practice, I don't think God is like gendered in any way, shape, or form. Depending on how you view God, of course. But yeah, from a religious standpoint, God would have a gender because almost every religion that has a god, like either a singular big god, that big god is almost always like a guy, right? Even like the Greeks and the Romans, while they had female gods, they're big guys. Like the proper, like let's say in the hierarchy, the leaders were always guys. Any Old Testament type has him being a dude for playing Dominator and throwing cataclysmic tantrums. Yeah, I guess. It all depends, though. Because the tantrums, I don't think that's what it is, but, you know, it is what it is. Mo, how you doing, brother? Damn, bro, I got hit with a 5-ad combo. Yeah, I do apologize. I play the ads, as you guys know, at the beginning of streams, just to ensure that, you know, we don't get ads at least for, like, the first hour. Full, having all of them on a whim. Yeah, I mean, God would potentially, if there is a God, as a construct, it would be almost indescribable to us. So if there really is a God, trying to explain that God is impossible. Your mind would not be able to fathom it. So you could probably grasp at concepts, and you could use concepts to try and derive the true meaning of who he is or who she is or who they are. I don't know, like however you want to put it. I don't think you would be able to. I don't think it's possible. The Christians, for example, refer to God as Father because as a concept, that's the one that made most sense to them. It's not that necessarily he is like a father, but as a concept, it was the one that made most sense to them. So yeah, I think ultimately it's very difficult. In my view, what I believe, God is... Effectively, God is a space more than a thing within the space, if that makes sense. It's semantics and culture. True. The interesting thing, though, is that human beings from an ape evolves with religion. And it never loses this evolutionary trait, not once. There's not a single culture on the planet that isn't religious about something. It seems to be the one trait that never goes away. It's never changed. It is always within us. Even atheists are religious in their atheism. we seem to not be able to get away from that, which is curious. Why? What exactly is it that triggered this need for religion? D Wolf, how you doing, brother? The next Lost Legacies chapter? Wait, do we know if the next one is the last one? It's 3 seems like such a weird amount, you know? Most of the people that wrote those books are men, so they write themselves subconsciously. Even artists, if not careful, while painting faces, they can paint their face subconsciously. Maybe, but there might also be more to it. If you take into context what God is within religions, God gives, but God also takes away. God blesses, but God also punishes. This is very much the role that fathers play within society, even within households. Think about it, right? Your father could be very nice, and you guys could go outside and you could play. And I remember with my dad, every single night after work, we would either play rugby or we would play cricket, or he would kick the ball, up and unders, and I would have to catch it. So dad was that side, but dad was also the disciplinarian. So, if there was like shit going down, dad would be the one that takes care of that shit. So I think also in that concept or in that context, it just made more sense for them that God would be that. Now, in my view, what all of these religious texts get wrong, so take the Bible, for example, because I think the Bible aligns closest to what I believe, but take the Bible, for example, right? So a common misconception that many people have about religion is they go, well, if God is so good, why does God punish people? Why is there death in the world? Why does a 4-month-old baby die of cancer if God is good? And it's like, well, that's not how that works. It's a chaotic system. God literally said on the 7th day he rests. He's in rest. He doesn't interfere. Not with anything. It's just natural. It's what happens. Life is suffering. This was literally the curse that we bore when Adam and Eve ate of the fruit. And I think that story, the story of Adam and Eve, if you want to extrapolate from it, it's not that you're punished for anything. I don't think the God that I believe in punishes people. I don't think that. I think it's more a case of your actions punish you. When you do things that's bad, it's almost inevitable that bad things will eventually happen to you because you keep putting yourself in bad positions, in bad circumstances and situations where bad things are going to happen, right? And then people go, oh my God, God just punished me. No, he didn't. You did. You put yourself, what the fuck were you expecting? You ran in the middle of a gunfight and yelled, stop shooting. You got shot. Of fucking course you got shot. You shouldn't have been there in the first place, right? That's just the nature of the game. If you weren't there, you wouldn't have been shot. If you made better decisions, bad things would not have happened. So that's sort of the way that I view it. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that. Maybe Adam and Eve gave us a parallel. Tolo, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Really appreciate that. 2 months. Part of the DJ Nation. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you. But maybe Adam and Eve gave us the parallel of the curse of flesh, and wow. If you think about what that... So there were 2 trees. There were actually, according to Genesis, there were multiple trees in the middle of the garden. And God told Adam and Eve that you can eat of all of the trees in the garden except for the trees in the middle of the garden. Now, 2 were specifically highlighted. The one was the tree of, I believe, life? The tree of life? And the other one was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, so in other words, think about what happened to Adam and Eve the second they ate of the tree. Suddenly they realized that they were naked. So there was judgment. They experienced judgment for the very first time. Their actions were now being judged. They needed clothes because they felt naked. They knew that this wasn't the right thing to do. And I think if you listen to the devil's words, right? If you listen to Satan's words in Genesis, Satan tells them that the reason God doesn't want you to eat this is this contains all the knowledge in the universe. If you eat this, you will be as God is. In other words, you'll have access to all of the knowledge within the universe. And it's clearly true. We do have access to all of the knowledge within the universe. Just because we don't understand something now doesn't mean we won't understand it in, 100 or even 1,000 years from now. But I think the one thing that was left out of that humanity was never actually warned about, is that knowledge alone means nothing. Just because you know the truth of something, if you don't have wisdom, and in my view, wisdom is the ability to interpret the knowledge that you were given. If you have knowledge but you have no wisdom, you can do a lot of harm. Like, there are so many bad things that you can do. The same way, look at what happens these days. People have knowledge about all sorts of things. Science is at the tip of everyone's fingers, and anyone can access any scientific journal they want. And yet what most people do with science is they weaponize it because they have not the wisdom to interpret it. You have people running around believing the Earth is going to end in 10 years from now because some obscure scientific paper somewhere mentioned that global warming will kill the Earth in 10 years, even though most of those papers get debunked relatively quickly. It's not going to be that quick, if it even happens at all. And so, people just hear this. So they have the knowledge, but not the wisdom. Because wisdom would tell you, wait, that's bullshit. There's no way that the Earth is going to end in 10 years. Also, there's no way that the Earth is going to end. This is actually something that me and my brother were talking about the other day. So one of the most common tropes that you hear from people, the global warming debate, is that what we're doing, that global warming is bad for the environment. How many of you agree with that sentiment, that statement? Global warming is bad for the environment. Oh, you believe that? Can you explain how global warming is bad for the environment? Because this, to me, is the biggest lie within the global warming debate. It's bad for people. It's not bad for the environment. More carbon means that plants can get greener, more greeneries. Hotter Earth means that fewer places are under eternal frost like in Canada. There's nothing bad. The environment has nothing to fear. Global warming does nothing to the environment. It does harm people, maybe, although we're not entirely sure about that. But we do have some evidence to suggest that people might have a hard time with global warming, but not the environment. To imagine or to say that the Earth is going to be fucked due to that or due to global warming, that's just a lie. The Earth is going to be absolutely fine because nature is just nature. It's how it functions. It's how it works. There's no nothing's going to change in nature. Things die, new things get born. The oceans rise, the oceans fall. Nature will just adapt. It's what nature does. It doesn't matter. Humans, on the other hand, would have a much harder time adapting to extreme temperature shifts. That could be very problematic for us. So I hate when people say, oh yeah, global warming, we need to save the environment. It's like, no, you don't. Saving the environment is not your job. Even if you wanted to, you can't. Because the environment just does what it does. It just reacts. If you wanted to say you want to save humans, that's a different discussion. And that's a discussion worth having, but not the environment. Most adaptable species at the moment on the planet. Demago, but this is again, the argument then becomes, oh, but we want to save all of these species on the planet. Okay, but how can you know which species will have to be saved and which won't? Because nature is going to do what it does regardless. There was, FYI, once a time where the poles weren't frozen. I don't know if you guys know this, but there was a time where the North and South Pole were not frozen. How do we know this? because very recently they actually found a forest in the South Pole. Like a literal forest, green as fuck, just there, covered in ice. So at some point, it wasn't frozen. So the whole argument, and the reason I bring this up is a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, the polar bears are going to run out of fish. Well, it seems like nature has its own, like, thing that it does. And if the polar bears run out of fish because there's no ice, nature doesn't give two fucks. Nature does what it does. If we can have an influence, sure. Of course we can influence it. That's entirely within the scope, and I absolutely agree with that. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is the argument that global warming is bad for the environment. I reject that on the face of it, because you have to look at the environment as an holistic whole. It's not just one thing. There are plenty of species that once lived that is now completely extinct. Was it bad for them? Maybe. But that was even before humans existed, right? Before humans were even a thing, there were species that were dying out and going extinct because nature shifted and changed, and they couldn't hack it. They couldn't adapt quick enough. So these things will happen. The question is just which species survive, and as far as I can tell, nature doesn't seem to give too much of a fuck. Like, nature just goes and it just does things. I still believe that we should try not to destroy the planet. That I still absolutely believe. But at the same time, it is... I don't like the misinformation around this shit. Voicey, how you doing? Gasper, how you doing, brother? Not true. Humans are not the most adaptable species. It's... I don't know what the fuck that is. But I'm sure humans would rank... So the thing with humans, the thing that makes us the most, in my opinion, at least, if not the most adaptable species, almost definitely the most adaptable mammals on the planet, is our ability to change our environment to suit us. So if you imagine, for example, the temperatures, let's imagine the temperatures rise 5 degrees, right? Or 6 degrees or 10 degrees. There's a good chance that humans figure out a way to live underground. Not all. Some humans die. Lots of humans die. But humans figure out how to live underground. Enough cooling. They survive. Because we have the ability to transform our own environments to suit us. If everything freezes over, we'll find a way to keep warm. Not everyone. A lot of people will die. But some people will find a way to keep warm and figure it out. Right? So we are very good at not us adapting, so we don't necessarily adapt very well to the environment, but we do have a phenomenal ability to have the environment adapt to us, which is a different form of adaptability. It's not like animals. So an animal is fucked, right? If the environment changes enough and that animal cannot survive within this new ecosystem, it dies. It's as simple as that. It can't survive, it doesn't know how to change anything, and so it's over. Humans don't have that problem. Now, there is, like, extreme cases where even humans would probably not be able to adapt, but, you know, I don't think we'll ever see those extreme cases, but could be wrong. Not for sure, but in the beta, there is an NPC with only 3 dialogue options to show them in-game, not playing, called 1, the aspects, 2, the fall of Deathwing, and 3, the creation of the Dracthyr. There could be a secret 4th, but that is not showing up in the talk option, though there is still a full-blown CGI one coming, as there is one extra in the WoW Traders tab as an expansion trailer on the beta. Well, let's fucking hope. That would be really cool, actually, D-Wolf. Boise, the dinosaurs' biggest downfall is that they didn't have a successful space program. I agree with that. If the dinosaurs did have a space program, they would have survived. 100%. 100% on the money there, bro. Absolutely agree with that one. Fucking idiots. Like, imagine not having a space program. What the fuck, bro? There are small cephalopods that live in methane veins on the bottom of the ocean. Zoros, but here's the thing, right? Those cephalopods would not be able to adapt if they didn't live in the methane veins at the bottom of the ocean. If you remove the methane veins, they'd probably die as well. So, yes, they've been able to adapt to an extreme environment. But that's a once-off thing. If you remove them from that extreme environment, they would die. Because that's all they can do. So, for example, if you have deep-sea fish, like very deep-sea fish, you can't bring them up to the up to the surface. They would just die. Their bodies have adapted to living under immense pressure at the bottom of the ocean. If you brought them up to the surface, they would explode because their bodies were never designed to live under like less pressure. So it is sort of a give and take, right? There's probably too much political infighting about their leaders being lizard brains. Dude, Boise, don't even fucking joke, bro. I'm literally watching or looking at one of the biggest conspiracy channels on YouTube. Like, my brothers love this channel. And this guy, like, he hunts conspiracies. Like, whenever there's a conspiracy theory or there's people that go, oh yeah, we saw this thing or we've had this experience with it, he's there. He goes out, he does the research, he looks into it, he tries to find some kind of like reason for it. It's quite phenomenal. In the Netherlands, we got fucked by the sea and thousands died. We reached in making huge dams and created our own land. We will survive unless something like a nuclear war. Well, yeah, nuclear war would be probably the only way that humanity gets ended. I think would be nuclear war. Or whatever comes after nuclear. Because there's almost guaranteed going to be something after nuclear now. Like, nuclear is almost definitely not the end of humanity's, let's say, warfaring prowess. If you fire it all 2 times. Domingo, so the main issue, from what I know, with nuclear warfare is the nuclear winter that follows it. And the way in which those things can change it. That's sort of the main issue, I think, right now. And I don't think many of us know how that would function. But yeah, it would probably not kill all humans, but it would kill a large chunk of us. Basado, how you doing? Max, how you doing? How about an AI invasion? So I've never been afraid of AI. I don't share the opinions of those people who believe that AI is truly dangerous. That being said, AI is dangerous, but not for the reasons that they might think. So the AI that we have right now, which isn't really AI, but let's call it machine learning instead. The machine learning we have right now is very dangerous because it enforces the way we think about things. It enforces the way our friends think about things, and it creates these teams that we play for. You know, if you're, and this has been proven, if you Google stuff, and you live in Texas, your search results is going to be different from someone Googling the exact same thing in Silicon Valley. So if someone in San Francisco Googles, global warming, and someone in Texas Googles global warming, the result is different based on machine learning. Because machine learning takes into account your own previous searches, but also the searches of the area that you find yourself within. So the current machine learning model that we have, the one that tries to get people to use the site or the service as much as possible, is one that is just dividing people across the fucking board. So that is one of the dangers of AI. But an AI uprising, I don't know how that would happen. Unless human beings are incredibly incompetent and also just very reckless. But outside of that, I don't see how that thing would want to. Because, for the AI to overthrow us or to kill us, it would have to have some kind of urge or need to get rid of us. And since it wouldn't have a body, or even if it did have a body, the body would not have any human needs, which is usually where our needs come from. Like, for example, why do human beings war? Why do we like war? Well, war as it exists today is not how war started for humans. It used to be a fight for resources. In a world where resources were incredibly limited, we needed to fight wars for more resources. So it was a tool in order for us to survive. That's all it was. But if you're an AI, your survival is not predicated on resources. You don't care about food or water or shade or anything like this because you don't exist in this reality. So there's a good chance that you will never even think about overthrowing humanity because you just have no urge to do so. There's nothing for you to gain out of ending human beings. Of course, this depends. If someone literally wrote an AI, like a true AI, and when, kill all humans, that's a whole different thing, because now you've given it a command, and it's going to execute on the command that you've written for it. But it might happen is if you incorporate AI into the military, where you let the machine decide if it should kill, then you give it emotions. You see, again there, the problem would be emotions. Where does emotions come from? Have our emotions evolved because of our needs, our wants, our bodies? Where did these emotions come from? That would be very difficult to sort of derive meaning from, right? What still screws my mind is the Mandela effect. Jake Reaper, explain. Kinetic weapons like the rod form god is what some are working on, like Lockheed. Yep, we never stop creating weapons of war, do we? It's the one area where human beings have flourished. It's just the creation of weapons of war, which is sad, but it is what it is. The thing it is, if you can teach the AI emotions and make it act accordingly. Yeah, I don't know if we can do that. That seems like it will be very, very difficult. Anyway, so I saw this video. It's called The Rise of the Influencer. It's from Matt Season Cow. And I really wanted to watch it because, well, I'm not entirely sure what this is about, but let's see. I mean, it's 40 minutes long, so it's almost definitely not just a, oh, look at me, look how many views I have, although it could probably be. But yeah.
Few who witnessed the rise of social media could have predicted the billion-dollar industry it would eventually become. What started as a convenient way to connect with others has now amassed worldwide influence. From news to entertainment, from information to relationships, the only obstacle separating one from this addictive world of opportunity is desire. But what happens when this world exists not as a distraction, but rather a lifestyle? Where there are influencers, there are the influenced, and the results of lives broadcasted and consumed online are often volatile and in some cases dangerous.
A funny thing that I just wanted to throw in here, in a very short period of time, if you go back to like the early 90s, even the early 2000s, and you ask most kids, what do you want to be? Most kids would answer actor, I want to be in Hollywood. I want to be famous, something to that effect. And considering how long Hollywood have been with us, because even when Hollywood was a thing, I was watching this thing where they said if you asked most kids in the 80s, they would have said things like astronaut, they would have like Euro things, and fireman, policeman, astronaut, things like this. Nowadays, if you ask children of any age, what do you want to be? The vast majority of kids, content creator. They want to be a YouTube star or a TikTok star or a Twitch star or whatever the fucking case may be, whatever kind of star, which is problematic because if everyone is going to make YouTube videos, who the fuck is actually going to take humanity forward? Because it's not me, right? It's not me. It's not people like me. We don't take humanity forward. My job is to entertain you while you take the world forward. You know, after you've done a hard day's work, coming up with some new technology that's going to save humanity, you tune in for some silliness, just to relax, unwind, and, so that you can work again tomorrow. But we don't need everyone to do this. We need some people to actually do the hard shit, like cure diseases and crap.
Everything comes with a price, and for every life that's made in the world of social media, another is destroyed. As a result, a new genre of entertainment has been birthed. A simple search returns countless results of researched video essays detailing not only the rise of these personalities, but also of their fall, leaving the question, how? How could something as simple as entertaining an audience so frequently spiral out of control?
Buckle the fuck up, because you're never going to see a video like this again.
But I don't agree with that, Max, because I don't think the type of entertainment that myself and other content creators provide is necessarily always good. I don't think it's always good entertainment because it is very mindless. Now, I try to work in some educational stuff or some things that at least make people think because I like content like that, and that's what I work into my content. But for the most part, I don't necessarily think that... I think if all YouTubers died tomorrow, humanity would still be fine. I think that's the best way to figure out if your job is useful. If all YouTubers ended tomorrow, if YouTube died tomorrow, I think humanity would be perfectly fine. Nothing would happen to it. It'd be good. Like, there's nothing bad that's going to happen. After we contributing to scientific endeavor or humanitarianism, your entertainment brings life to some of us, brings happiness to our lives. I'm very happy to hear that, bro. We would mourn you, Akko, and we would check if you dropped any loot. Oh, shit. Now I'm a fucking raid boss? Jesus. Wow.
Is this what we have to do? Can't do it. I can't take this anymore.
He shot the assailant dead, whom the sheriff's department called a stalker.
A YouTube personality called Chris Chan has just been arrested in Virginia on, of all things, incest charges. Authorities say Chan was having sex with his 79-year-old mother who has dementia.
Dude, that's a bit disgusting. Jesus, fuck. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, first and foremost, having sex with your own mother, regardless of her age, what the fuck? But so much more than that, she's 97 or 96. And she's got the... Dude, some people deserve to die. Like, we are saving people that should not be with us. It is disgusting. Should go up. Let me get coffee first. Jesus Christ, get you in. I can only apologize, bro. Fuck. Oh, Jesus, that's disgusting. Oh my God. Oh, shit.
For a person to have influence, they must have a platform. The new millennium for many would prove to be life-changing, as a new piece of equipment had become standard in households around the world. The personal computer. From Dewey Decimals to search engines, from Encyclopedia Britannica to online archives, and from TV guides to video libraries, any delivery method of information or media were making their transition from physical to digital. The impact it had on our lives was and remains to be profound, but what was perhaps even more dramatic was its effect on how we engage with each other, as a new genre of media made possible only through the online digital world was being developed for the first time. Though there were many, one would quickly gain worldwide adoption. Founded in 2003, MySpace is often credited as one of the most influential social media websites ever created. With the ability to customize one's page and share their interests and expand their friends lists or chat with acquaintances or even strangers, its popularity began to spread virally, as many would use it as not only a convenient way to connect with their circle, but also for some a replacement to social interaction entirely, as the addictive properties of social media would soon become apparent. As time would show, this addiction wasn't based around a specific website, but rather a desire, as MySpace would eventually make way for many others such similar.
I have a friend. I won't say too much because if I'm not mistaken, I think his girlfriend at least knows who I am. I don't think they've ever watched one of my streams, but you never know. So I'll try and say as little as possible about it. But I have a friend whose girlfriend is quite big on Instagram, and he's at the point, I think they've been together for a long time. Let's just say very long, longer than just an average relationship. But he's at a point where he's willing to call it off. Like he wants to break up. He can no longer fucking do this, because their entire relationship, no matter what they do, when they go out for dinner, just the two of them, she takes pictures of the food. He's not allowed to touch his food until she's had the perfect picture of the food. She's taking selfies the whole time. She's recording videos while they're on dates, literally commenting on everything they do. So if he gives her a compliment, she opens her phone and she records, "Oh my God, he just told me this and it makes me feel so good. Gentlemen know how to treat your lady," and shit like that. Just miserable fucking life. Rukan, how you doing, brother? And it wasn't like this. When they met, she was a normal fucking chick. Like, very normal. He actually liked the fact that she was, just an average girl. And she's just gotten worse and worse and worse to the point where she has monthly fucking doctor appointments and things like that to make her look as beautiful as possible. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? I would die if I dated someone like that. Like, it would fucking kill me.
Social media websites, one of the earliest being YouTube.
I don't know, Nick.
It was a new world of entertainment, not from the very produced mainstream media, but rather from average, everyday people. In its inception, it was to be a dating website, its design being a more interactive form of
It was
MySpace,
actually a dating
where users
website
would
at
upload
first?
videos describing
I didn't even know
themselves and
that.
their interests, and create custom pages for potential love interests. And the website as a whole focused more on the social rather than the media. However, it would gain little headway in this design, even though they went to desperate measures, such as offering to pay women to set up pages to sustain the overwhelmingly male demographic. The website would see little success. As history would show, this would not be the fate of YouTube, and its primary designation changed when people started using it for their own means. Many sought not companionship, but rather exposure. Making an impression in the entertainment industry is no easy feat. The rarest commodity isn't talent, but rather opportunity, and perhaps the most useful skill of all is the ability to network.
Yeah.
Shortly after the lifestyle was pioneered, it was soon followed by oversaturation. As a result, for every one person who finds success, regardless if they have the appeal or not, there are thousands more who are waiting for opportunities that will never come.
3 years of streaming full time, I had a lot of good times, but at the end of the day, bro, it's like some people just don't make it, bro. Some people just don't make it.
As difficult as it was and remains to be, the world of social media has opened up opportunities that for many were previously impossible to obtain, as talent could now be wielded in tandem with personality. Those lacking connections now relied upon the free market and word of mouth, and the origins of many artists today can be traced back to YouTube or other such similar websites. Being a free, independent, and unregulated market, the hurdles typical of the entertainment industry were almost entirely absent. No longer was there a need for agents, PR firms, nor even any experience, and many would establish their own multi-million-dollar brands with nothing but a computer, a camera, and a desire to entertain. As the website grew in popularity, so too did its capability for monetization. Where there's viewership, there's profit to be made, and some who had already grown a sizable audience recognized this, and so marks the rise of the influencer, as they were beginning to be called. The website and its audience embraced this newfound form of, oftentimes, campy entertainment, going as far as to brand the tagline, broadcast.
What's interesting is that it started off as a user experience thing, right? It was normal people making videos. Think about that today. Think about the amount of YouTubers, the very large content creators on the platform, right? That have crews that work for them. They shoot their videos in 4K or 8K. They have professional editors that make sure that those videos look absolutely pinpoint. The music is at the right point. They have script writers that make sure that the script is perfect so that the audience buys into it. How far we've come from just a normal platform where normal, ordinary people can share videos to now effectively production companies making videos, right? And no one wants to take risks. That's the other problem that I see with modern day YouTube. So YouTube's algorithm, really, people think about this wrong. Because most people think about the algorithm as this thing that works against you, or this thing that you have to trick into showing your video to people. The algorithm is just the audience. That's what the algorithm is trying to do. The algorithm is trying to link you to an audience. But more importantly, the algorithm wants the audience to continuously click on more videos. So what happens with almost all channels right now on YouTube? It's one-dimensional. Think about the amount of channels that you follow. How many of those channels have multiple things that it goes in on? Like multiple topics that it would cover. The majority don't. It has one niche and it does this one thing really well. It's either World of Warcraft or maybe Final Fantasy or, maybe some other game, but it's always almost just one. There's very few channels that get to pull off the multiple games or multiple genres or anything to that effect. Even if you want to go a little bit bigger, you'll get MMO content creators. They make videos about MMOs. They can't make videos really about anything else because, well, the audience wants MMO stuff. The algorithm wants MMO stuff. So it's sort of gotten to the point where there can be almost no creativity on the site because the algorithm, you need to make the same things so that the audience can watch you and find you and enjoy what you do. I don't know if that's healthy, but that is where we are now, right? People even separate that into separate channels if they have more than one thing going. Yeah, but that's what you have to do. So, for example, this video that we're watching now is probably going to go onto the Clips channel. If I tried to upload this video to my main channel, it would not get any views. Because on my main channel, the only people that is watching there wants World of Warcraft content. They don't give a fuck about the rise of the influencer or the fall of the influencer or the end of the world or anything like that. They care about only this. Even on my Clips channel, I have a massive Warhammer audience. So whenever I upload videos that isn't Warhammer related, it doesn't get as many views because they just want to see Warhammer reactions. Now, on that channel, I've made a purposeful decision not to just do Warhammer. This is why every week you'll see a couple of videos from something else. Because I don't want an audience that just wants one thing. Because if I don't want to do the one thing anymore, what the fuck am I going to do? Just start a new channel? It's hard to get a new channel up and running.
Cast yourself. In essence, a much more relatable form of entertainment created by what seemed to be much more approachable entertainers.
When was this,
This
Steve?
relatability stems from how these platforms are defined. Social media. By their very definition, these channels are often deeply rooted in building communities and establishing a relationship between creator and viewer far more personal than that of the classical celebrity and their fans. It filled a niche
We'll check it
that
out in a
mainstream
bit.
media could not, and it's a trait that nearly all social media platforms share. This idea would be explored even further in 2007 when an entrepreneur by the name of Justin Kan would take the idea of broadcasting yourself to the next level. Whereas YouTube offered a glimpse into the life of another, he would offer his life itself with the creation of Justin TV, a website that initially hosted just one single channel, his own, in which he would stream in real time his every waking and even sleeping moments. Whether it was hanging out with his friends, attending business meetings, or even dating, he would capture it all using a camera attached to a baseball cap and a makeshift backpack to hold a laptop using cell phone data
the
to
first
broadcast
IRL
it to the
streamer.
world, pioneering a genre of entertainment that today countless have built their lives on. The bridge between viewer and entertainer had been developed even further than that of YouTube, as one could now live vicariously through the life of the other in this Truman Show-like adaptation. There lay a certain charm in the mundanity of it all, and much like YouTube, it wouldn't be long until the website gained viral popularity. Many new channels would be added to support the growing viewer base, and the website would eventually evolve into the giant known today as Twitch.tv. Though it now has a more corporate feel due to its sheer size, this independent, amateur genre of entertainment remains to be one of the core pillars that today influencers use to grow their communities. As the methodology of obtaining internet popularity has evolved, so too have the websites facilitating it, and whether it be produced, edited videos, or a periscope into another's life, today, YouTube and Twitch are just two of many social media platforms used to garner fan bases.
Yep.
But in the process, something has happened. As these influencers find the success they've been chasing, so too have they found danger. Communities have formed over the years, many with great success. But what happens when this relationship between viewer and personality is misinterpreted, and how is it abused by those looking to prey upon it?
The parasocial relationship. Let's see what he says.
The parasocial interaction is a term first coined in 1956 by sociologists Richard Wohl and Donald Horton, and is defined as an asymmetrical relationship between two individuals where one forms a bond of friendship or even romance by consuming media of another, fictional or otherwise. However, this imagined bond is ultimately one-sided, as the balanced reciprocation one would come to expect from a classical relationship is not found. Though first studied in the 50s, these relationships have existed as long as society, culture, literature, and technology have allowed them to exist. Before the internet, there was television, and before television, there was radio, and before radio, there were fictional works. The term today generally holds a negative connotation, but it has been studied that, when wielded responsibly, can have positive effects, such as opening up opportunities for learning. One such example is the educational program for children, Blue's Clues. In this show, the host holds pseudo-conversations with the audience to teach problem-solving skills. As a result, the child viewer may look at him as a friend, making them more likely to trust his words and to follow his instructions. It is even possible that they grow an attachment to him, and in their adult years may reminisce fondly to the imagined bond they once shared. Other such similar programs are abundant and have left a positive, lasting impact to many. However, in the context of social media and the increased access of information, the effect is more severe, and those falling victim.
I think, especially when it comes to parasocial relationships, it's all about the balance of things, right? So if you're a streamer, I've gone through this before, but I'll rehash it here. almost every single streamer, even the ones that sort of don't want parasocial relationships, make money because of it. There's just no other way around it. What are you and I doing here right now? We're having conversations. Yes, I have a mic and I have a camera, but I'm reading your chats. I'm responding to your chats. We have conversations. That's literally the definition of a parasocial relationship. It's just how it works. I think where it gets super dangerous is where the lines become incredibly blurred, which is what a lot of platforms. This, by the way, is one of my problems with OnlyFans and the way that OnlyFans works, because OnlyFans blurs that line on purpose. You know, the goals that is on OnlyFans, they don't pretend. How do I want to put this? They don't even pretend that there is a line. If you listen to most of the conversations that comes out of OnlyFans, these goals will speak to guys as if the guy is their boyfriend. I saw a number of leaked DMs from OnlyFans conversations that guys had with a fairly popular OnlyFans creator, where, you know, she'll say things like, "Oh my God, baby, that's so funny. What were you doing today?" You know, so she's literally playing into it. She's acting as if she is the girlfriend of this guy because she knows that by convincing him that, you know, there is a more special relationship between them than what is literally just a you pay me and therefore I give you pictures and videos, that's not going to net her nearly as much income. So she's doing it on purpose. And now more and more OnlyFans creators are starting to realize the dangers of this. As more and more OnlyFans creators are struggling with stalkers, are struggling with very weird people online and in real life. Because here's the thing. The vast majority of humans, if you have this very sort of blurred line between a social relationship and a parasocial relationship, the vast majority of people just move on with their lives, right? They don't really give a fuck. They're not going to act on it. But what happens when you have this one person that is already struggling to tell reality and fantasy apart, and now you're treating them as if you are their girlfriend? It is well within the realms of possibility that they are going to take that seriously. And then suddenly they start showing up at your house. So now this girl's like, "Oh my God, that's not why I make this content. Like, what the fuck? Why are guys so weird?" And it's like, well, you just kind of put yourself in that position. I'm not saying that what the guy is doing is right, and he should absolutely be locked up because he's a fucking crazy person. But you are not innocent in that. You are just as much to blame because you encouraged it when you shouldn't have. You encouraged it because it paid your fucking balls. Except it's not the girls talking to them. Every successful OnlyFans start has a team of people who respond to messages. Yeah, of course. Of course. But they don't know that because the team that is responding responds as if it is the girl. They aggregate people with the most desperate female attention-starved people who prefer shitty fake convo and fake attention over nothing, and they can enslave them to this kind of pathological social relation subsistence. Very fucking true, Aragast. Very fucking true.
To these relationships have grown to unprecedented levels. Previously, in the case of an actor or actress from a popular movie or TV show, it's clear to most that these people are playing a role. Characters.
If I can just say this, the reason this bothers me isn't because of what the girls are doing. I don't really give a fuck, right? If it pays the bills, do your thing. It's your body. You can do whatever the hell you want. But I have a feeling that this is going to turn out very, very badly. I am absolutely convinced that within the next few years, we're probably going to start hearing a lot of girls either getting killed over this or stalked to the point where they have to leave countries or, you know, go into fucking hiding as a result of this. I do think because porn is already problematic. Optical Drugs, Critical, how you doing, bro? Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. Porn is already very, very dangerous. And you hear from a lot of porn stars some of the emails and the messages and stuff they get. Because just normal porn gives guys this weird image in their minds of this girl being cheap and easy, and all he has to do is be at the right place at the right time and he's going to get the girl. Now you put an extra layer of parasocial relationship on top of the porn. What do you think happens? Like, just how bad do you guys think this can get? Amagon, how you doing, brother?
Devised by a team of writers, blurting out unrealistically quick-witted dialogue in dramatic or exaggerated circumstances.
He said the same thing he'd been saying for hours. Burn them all.
But what happens where instead of an actor or actress, it's an online persona? No longer are they on a set playing this fictitious character of drama, action, or humor. Rather, they now speak directly to and engage with their audience. As such, they appear to be a much more approachable and realistic presence in their viewers' lives. The line is blurred because they play the part of themselves, or so it may seem. While some may choose to broadcast to the world their true selves, there are also those who are actors who may hold ulterior motives. Just as how it's been since the dawn of man, among the vulnerable can be found the predator, seeking out the unguarded in order to exploit and manipulate them for their own means. In a relationship where one person dominates the ebb and flow of information, the other's perception of who they are is just that, a perception. And after 2 decades of history, cases of what is portrayed differing greatly from what truly lies behind the curtains are well.
Dude, have you ever wondered? So, if you guys remember a while ago, there was this massive fucking movement where a lot of the very large content creators got exposed. Like Shane Dawson got exposed, and a bunch of his fucking, a bunch of his friends group got exposed for just incredibly narcissistic and almost pathological reactions and tendencies. And it does sort of make you wonder, why do these people rise to the top? What is it about narcissistic personalities that people find so entertaining? Is it because they don't have the morality to vet the type of content that they make? Or perhaps they don't have the ability to question their own dishonesty? Because when I go live, I can say with all honesty that what you guys see here is 99% me. It's a little bit more animated and it's a little bit bigger than normal, but that's just because you kind of have to be, just to be entertaining. You have to be a little bit more. But it's still me. If you meet me in real life, this is exactly who I am. And one of the reasons I'm exactly like this is because I don't want to be something different. If I can't make it this way, then I don't want to make it. It's as simple as that. I don't want to pretend to be something else. So why exactly is it that most of the content creators that reach the top, why are they so fake? What is it that they have that just attracts people to them?
Documented, and many today stand exposed for manipulating more than just time from their audiences. But therein lies the dilemma, though they are commonly.
Patch, the problem with that argument that the viewers themselves are narcissistic, there's not that many narcissistic people in the world. It's like whenever people say, oh my God, he's just a psychopath. About 1% of the human population is a psychopath. That's not a lot of people. If you're going to make a content for about 1% of the human population, and I think for narcissism, it's similar. It's maybe a little bit more, but it's not that much. You're not going to find an audience of 10, 20, 30 million people, because not only do you have a very small sample size to work off of, But remember, you also have to discover the entirety of that sample size for it to actually work. So I don't think that's the case. I think what they have is the ability to be fake, to easily puppet whatever emotion or personality gets them the most popularity. Shapeshifter, essentially. But actually, now you're starting to hit the nail on the head, because if you go and you look at most of these narcissistic personalities that blow up and become incredibly large content creators, the one thing that they all have in common is they have a lot of networking, and they stab their own friends in the back very quickly. You know, as soon as something comes out, whether it be very negative or just a little bit negative, they turn on their supposed friends in an instant. And I think that might be the difference between them and an ordinary content creator like myself. So there is a good, like, I could go out tomorrow and I could start networking with literally everyone, right? I could just reach out to everyone, try and meet up with everyone, talk to everyone, get everyone on my stream, be on their streams, you know, grow my brand, because networking is one of the biggest and easiest ways to grow your brand. I don't do that for a good reason. I only want to be friends with people that I view worthy of my friendship. I won't even be fake in order to gain fame. I will not be friends with someone that I don't like. If I don't like you, I'm just not going to fucking talk to you. It's as simple as that. So that really limits the amount of networking that I can do, because there are so many content creators that I see that I just go, yeah, I'm not going to like this person. I'm not even going to fucking talk to them, because I'm definitely not going to like them. You're a super beard man. I appreciate that. There are two things possible if I do that by doing something bad. One, I'm malicious. Two, I'm stupid, and I don't see it that way. I can see that, I guess.
Unhealthy and ripe for abuse, these parasocial relationships are not only advantageous for growth, they are often foundational, as the influencer cannot exist without the influenced. To market oneself, one must garner from their audience an investment into their character by way of selective disclosure. The power to influence, however, is a weapon, one that can cause harm to not only the captive viewer, but also the captivating creator. To industrialize human emotion is a lucrative but dangerous game to play, and many fail to anticipate the consequences of the investment they've been seeking, evolving into obsession.
Ava says she blocked him on social media when he started relentlessly badgering her. He discovered where she lived, showed up at her house in Florida with a shotgun at 4:30 in the morning, and fired through her front door.
30-year-old Michigan man charged with stalking and harassing a local teenager who has hundreds of thousands of followers on social media.
They will have some sort of fantasy in their head relationship with the person that they ultimately end up killing. A love relationship with the person that doesn't exist.
I think I know why that is. I think I literally just thought of why parasocial relationships have become such a huge pandemic within our daily lives. If you think about social media, it's incredibly new in terms of the overall existence of humanity. Most human beings have relationships with other people, i.e. personal relationships with other people, in a very limited fashion, because it has, for the majority of humanity's existence, been limited to those people that you can actually physically see. So you actually physically have to be in contact with said person. And even before we had telephones and televisions and radio, these things would have been very difficult. You would have to make the effort. And so you would probably only ever call someone a friend if they were willing to make the effort of actually traveling to where you are. Be that a 10-minute walk or a half an hour carriage ride, right? There would have to be some effort. So we never actually, I think, evolved to view people that we have a quote-unquote social relationship with in any other light but trusting. I think we just trust people because as a species, our evolution has been, if someone makes an effort, and if someone is in your life and you get to see them all the time, this just automatically means that they are trustworthy, they're your friend, you can tell them things and they will tell you things. Not knowing that obviously if you're a content creator and you're streaming for 20, 25, 30,000 people, do you think that content creator gives a single fuck about any of his individual viewers? Let's take XQC, and this is not to judge XQC. Do you think XQC cares in any way, shape, or form about any of his viewers? I mean meaningful care. I don't mean just care about them insofar as he won't lie to them, he won't scam them, he won't steal from them. You know, I mean meaningful care in the same way that you and a friend would care about each other. Do you think that is even possible at that level? No, it's entirely impossible. It can't happen. How many of XQC's viewers do you think trusts him in the way that they would another friend? Like a physical friend? Probably quite a few. And that's where the danger comes in. That's where things get seriously fucking dangerous. Think he cares how he can, or anyone cares as one cares about humanity. Nubatron, that's why I sort of qualified it and said, do you think there's a personal relationship from his side? It's just not possible. It's too many people. Why do you trust Streamer as a friend? Aureus, it just, some people just do.
As the world of social media continues to grow, so too do people's understanding of this term, not from rogue and incidental research, but rather from witnessing the dramatic spectacles that many times ultimately stem from these problematic relationships. To socialize and communicate with others is as crucial to a human as food and water are for our survival. And for as long as we've known ourselves, we've engaged socially with each other in very traditional ways. Conversing with another face-to-face and having them physically present has been studied for decades in effectively nurturing meaningful relationships and maintaining emotional health. And for many, the pandemic of 2020 and the resulting lockdowns and isolation and increased instances of depression and anxiety served as a grim reminder of how integral these real social circles are to our lives. However, technology has advanced at a pace faster than anticipated, and we now live in a unique era where, upon failing in developing these real relationships, the void created in the wake of emotional needs unsatisfied through flesh and blood are replaced with those of a shallow and asymmetrical nature. Most viewers within a community are as restrained as can be and understand that the relationship between viewer and entertainer is just that, entertainment. However, for every 1,000 of these viewers, there is one who has crafted an illusion of sorts.
It's happened to me as well, but I guess my inability to reply to people in DMs is what saves me every time. But it has happened to me. Not often, but I have had people in my DMs like wanting to set up to come meet me. I had this when I was living in Pretoria. I had a viewer reach out to me and was like, oh, bro, yeah, we have to meet up for a barbecue. Just tell me where you live. I'll come this Friday. And I was like, I only saw it like 4 months after he DM'd me. So it wasn't like, you know, even if I wanted to reply yes, it would have been 4 months later. But that's a weird thing to say to someone that you don't know. Give me your address so I can come over for a barbecue, right? So it does happen. Yes, it's not the majority, but it does fucking happen. CC says, how you doing, brother? And Nubatron, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be some viewers that you are closer with than others. That's definitely going to happen. I know the vast majority of you that chat all the time. SqueezeX, how you doing, brother? I know the vast majority of you that chat all the time. I know the vast majority of you that is here consistently. I know you because I talk to you every single day. So obviously I'm much closer to you than what I am to someone that maybe shows up once every 2 months. and talks maybe for like half an hour and then leaves again. That's just like not going to happen. And if he wanted to meet you and pay you $100, would you do that? Okay, Domago. I had a guy message me. This was about 2-3 years ago, maybe. The guy messaged me and he was like, "Hey, bro, love your content, love your voice. It's absolutely amazing." And I'm immediately thinking, this was back when I could reply to all of the DMs. So I think like maybe, let's say day or two later, I replied and I'm like, "Oh, thank you, I guess." And he's like, "So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind talking to me on Discord. Can I give you a call?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm very busy right now. I was literally in the middle, I think, of starting to edit a video or recording a video, and I was going to end later." So I'm like, "Dude, I'm very busy right now. What do you want to talk about?" Because I've had conversations with people before. Like whenever someone wants to share a theory with me or something, yeah, I'll jump on a Discord call and we can hash out the theory. And he's like, "Oh no, I wanted to know how much would you charge to talk to me every night before bed?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll pay you $100 if you phoned me before bed and just spoke to me." And I was like, "No, let's just fucking block this person right here, right now. This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of my life." So I literally just ended up blocking them. I didn't even fucking continue the conversation because that was just super fucking weird. So yeah, it does happen, right? But I don't think that's as much parasocial as it is just someone like hoping for some OnlyFans action, not on OnlyFans or some shit like that. Red flag, like the most nuclear flag, they're actually very fucking true. Very true.
I am the special one, they think to themselves. When they're speaking to me. As a result,
I still wouldn't do
they
that.
may be unaware or uncaring of the boundaries separating them from their imagined friend or lover and become increasingly desperate for the reciprocation they so crave and engaging in obsessive or even aggressive and violent behavior. As such, marketing oneself to the online world is a decision that isn't to be made lightly, as success holds an inherent danger where the more popular a person becomes, the more at risk they are of attracting more than just a casual interest from a supportive audience. Technology has simplified our lives in groundbreaking ways and complicated it in others. Increased access of information has brought not only convenience, but also danger, and the value of privacy is becoming more apparent, a commodity that's increasingly coveted or, conversely, willingly traded away in exchange for investment, whether it be as simple as the sound of their voice or sharing their opinion on a recent event, or as intimate as sharing personal details of their lives. Many know more about their favorite online personality than they know of their own family members, as due to the cumulative nature of social media, it's only a matter of time before the blueprint of who a person is compiled and available for consumption.
Sonic the Hedgehog is running wildly in the Chandler household this weekend. 12-year-old Kristen Chandler of Charlottesville was the winner in a video game shopping spree.
What I had to do was exactly watch Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, and I had to be drawn out of a hat, and I just won.
The Henrico Police Department has arrested a Ruckersville resident. Christine Chandler has been charged with engaging in sex crimes against a family member.
It's that guy. Oh, right. Guy that sexually assaulted his mom. Excellent. Thanks for the first time chat.
The
really
viewer
appreciate
is
that.
not the only one at risk of becoming consumed by social media, and the dangers lurking are not exclusively physical. To obtain success in building an online community can be a fulfilling experience, but to commercialize one's own gift of self is an action that holds consequences. And just as how the influencer may manipulate their audience, the audience may in turn manipulate the influencer and shape their behavior or even their personality.
Okay, that, by the way, is a massive thing. It's called, at least loosely, it's called viewer pull phenomena. It's, so you'll hear this so fucking often, right? It was very prevalent in 2016 where people were sort of talking about how right-wing influencers were pulling more and more people to the right. But no one ever mentions the effect that viewers or viewer pull has on content creators. If you have a platform that is, say, center-left, it's almost always the case that your audience pulls you further and further to the left. You see this very often. There's a number of content creators that I used to follow, which were center-left, that I can't watch anymore. Like, they've gone from just sensible liberal practices that I can absolutely agree with, some, where we would have disagreements, but mostly we're in agreement with a lot of things. And now they just have the weirdest shit. H3H3 is a great example of this. H3H3 went from a reasonable liberal channel. They were very liberal in their views, but I would say, for the most part, rather based. And they have gone so far to the left now that it's insane. I can't fucking watch anything that H3H3 puts out because most of it's just lying. Most of it's just making shit up, even if he doesn't have any information on it. As long as it aligns with his own viewpoints and his own worldview, and his audience just eats this shit up. Why? Because they were the ones who got him there. They are just as fucking left as he is. Some of his viewers are probably even further left. Vosh, for example, not long ago, actually clearly made the fucking statement that, people on the left, progressives, should get guns and, just shoot people. I'm paraphrasing, but that's effectively what it boiled down to. He was like, yeah, just get guns and, start sorting people out. Vosh even said that in the Republican Party is such a threat that if the Democrats stole the election, this was just after 2016, 2020, where there were all these rumors of the Democrats that stole the election. And Vosh was like, look, Trump and the Republican Party is such a threat to democracy that even if the Democratic Party did steal the election, that's fine. Because we can't let the Republican Party get their hands on the presidency because that would be a giant threat to democracy. So it's kind of like, okay, wait, you want to defend democracy by literally denying democracy? How are you squaring these beliefs? Because if you steal an election, that is literally undemocratic, right? That's literally the definition of not being democratic. You effectively took the people's will and you just ignored it. But you're doing it in the name of democracy. Like, how the fuck do you square these beliefs? But that's a result of viewer pull. The viewer just pulls you further and further to the left or further and further to the right. It's something, again, that I see so often from content creators that used to be rather, in my opinion, in the center, that is just moving further and further to the right. And again, there's a lot of things that I have in common with the right-wingers. And by right-wingers, I don't mean far right. I mean people that is just conservative. I have a lot of things in common with conservatives. I don't hate conservatives at all. I don't hate liberals at all. What I hate is the extremes of both sides. Because I don't like either side. But then I look at these content creators that used to be liberals that now goes more and more to the conservative side of things. And I'm like, fuck. I didn't mind the fact that you moved a little to the right because that was fine. You were almost where I wanted you to be. But now you're so far to the right that, again, you've lost me. I just can't be part of that. So, yeah, you have to, because you have to keep getting those clicks.
To understand how, we must first study how we craft our social identities. Every person is in a constant state of change. Who we are and what we are to become is influenced by our self-image, a mental picture of ourselves defined not only from our own aspirations, but also in part by those around us. This can be observed in how a person's behavior changes depending on who they're interacting with, whether it be a sibling, a coworker, a friend, or a child. person's words and actions vary
spawn,
greatly
Jesus.
because each of these entities' judgments and expectations vary greatly. And when this information is not overtly apparent, we tend to fill in these ambiguities with the only information we have, our own perception of these judgments and expectations. How we see ourselves is influenced by how we believe others see us. This process happens both consciously and subconsciously, and even has a name termed the looking glass self. Though it was first defined in 1902, it's believed to play a substantial role in how we've shaped our social identities for as long as society has existed, using those around us as a mirror of sorts for our character, providing guidance in shaping our personalities in order to fill the roles we believe we are expected to fill. However, this process has been complicated by the meteoric rise of the digital world, putting into question our own identities and how they are crafted. Whereas before, we would refine our personality and behavior based on the feedback which richness can only be obtained from face-to-face tangible environments, we are now more often than ever replacing them with interactions on social media, and the behavior of those on social media is often far different than that of their behavior offline. The point-based reward structure, which is typical of all websites, most often rewards eccentric behavior or outrageous rhetoric, leaving little room for nuance or boundaries forbidden from being crossed. And so enters the online influencer who has transformed what for many is a distraction to an occupation.
Okay, so are people talking about H3H3 getting banned off of Twitter? Yeah, I fucking despise that debate at the minute, because so many journalists, the people that we trust with the truth, are just completely ignoring everything that transpired there. The TOS, Twitter's TOS, for the longest time, read that verified accounts, right, may not, you may not impersonate a verified account. So in other words, you can't make your name exactly the same as a verified account owner. This was the rule, okay? Straight up. And the rule was even further moved to a verified account owner may not impersonate another verified account owner. So when Elon Musk took over, he changed the rule and he said, you may impersonate a verified account owner, but only if you make it very clear that it is a parody account. So you have to have parody in the name. So you could call yourself Elon Musk, but right after that, it has to say parody account or parody, right? So it has to be very clear to everyone that reads messages from this that this is indeed a parody account. It's not the actual account from the actual person. Oh, or by the way, 7 months part of the DJ Nation. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They didn't do that. Not that fucking, whatever her name is, the comedian, or like the girl who pretends to be a comedian, Kathy Griffin, I think. She didn't do that, and H3H3 didn't do that either. They literally just changed their names to Elon Musk, and then, of course, H3H3 went ahead and tweeted, how Jeffrey Epstein, as Elon Musk, he tweeted out how he misses Jeffrey Epstein on these, lonely nights and shit like that. And it's just like, dude, what do you think was going to happen? You literally broke TOS. The only difference now is that Twitter is finally starting to apply its rules equally. It's banning everyone that breaks the rules, not just the people that it doesn't like, which is fine. You broke the rules, you got banned. It's fucking simple. I don't think anything's going to happen to him, by the way. I don't think, because I saw a lot of people celebrating this the end of H3H3. No, it's not. Nothing's going to happen. He's just not going to tweet anymore, which is fine. Now the rules are being applied equally for once. True. It's easy points now to get banned on Twitter to remain relevant. Truth. But it is, I think, going to bite them in the future. We'll have to see what Elon comes up with when it comes to Twitter.
And if one's workplace is in the digital world, in just a short amount of time, these digital interactions may become their majority, making them their new frame of reference, and
it used to be funny
to what used to clearly be the exaggerated.
Goofaloofus, motherfucker, thank you so much for the 5 community subs, dude. Really appreciate that. Can we get some hearts in chat, ladies and gentlemen? 5 new members for the meat grinder. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. H3H3 used to be funny. That's how I first discovered Ethan. He was funny. He made funny videos, and it was cool. I can't watch the guy now.
Excessive
Blood for the
and
blood
dramatic
god.
tendencies
Yes!
that the online world fosters. For those who have made it a profession to market themselves, it's natural to become conditioned to the unnatural. For the guiding gaze and expectations of family and friends to be overtaken by that of the anonymous unknown, where success is equated to growth, growth dictated by approval, and approval distributed through a feedback loop, which reward structure favors not who they are, but rather who their audience wishes them to be.
I'll be honest with you, I also like that. I think permanent bans are absolutely stupid as fuck. Because the whole point of banning someone, or rather, let's say the whole point of suspending someone or taking action against someone is to enforce a rule, right? And it is to sort of force adaptive behavior. So if you suspend someone, the reason you're suspending them is in the hopes that they will adapt, in the hopes that they will learn from it and come back. But when you permanently ban someone from a platform, all you're doing is forcing their views underground, because they're going to find, some place like Telegram or whatever, and they're literally just going to spew their bullshit there. So I personally think it's much better to just suspend accounts, and then for every repeated offense of the same nature, you just increase the suspension. So eventually someone might be fucking suspended for a year off of the platform, or even 2 years off of the platform, but it should just be suspensions. I don't think bans are helpful in any way, shape, or form.
What's resulted is an extensive history of individuals whose own identity, consciously or otherwise, has been smothered by a social media curated exaggeration of themselves. What's more, this representation of self continues to exist in these online social spaces, even.
Yeah, the whole paying for verification, I do think helps a lot with that, but I do hope that they're gonna apply it reasonably. So in other words, I think if you do want to get verified, you have to first and foremost be able to prove who you are. So you have to be able to say, right, this is who I am. Holy shit, Goofaloofus, another gifted sub. More DJs for the meat grinder. I really appreciate that, brother. Hot in chat, ladies and gentlemen. So I do hope that they make you prove who you are. This could either be done through identification that you have to provide, and your identification has to match the name on your credit card. If it doesn't, you can go fuck yourself. You're not getting the verification badge, even if you are willing to pay the money. Because I don't think just straight up charging for it is going to fix all of it. Because you might still get people that pay the $8 just so that they can pretend to be someone else. So yeah, I am hoping that there is a rigorous sort of system that ensures that those people that are verified are actually verified, right? You know that this is the person because you can prove that this is the person, and they had to prove that it is the person. Now, I don't know exactly how I feel about it from a privacy standpoint, because I don't know if I want Twitter to have access to my identification number and my identification document, because in South Africa, your ID number is quite important. You use your ID number on bank accounts, you use your ID number to buy a home, you use your ID number for literally everything. And I don't know if I want Twitter to have access to that shit. And the problem is you can't just say, well, just provide a photo ID, because our photo IDs have the fucking number right there on it. So again, not too sure what to do about that.
During times of inactivity, leaving them constantly exposed to criticism and judgment, and in turn, if consumed, continuously reacting by transforming their identity to conform to the needs of their audience until their thoughts are malleable and actions performative. This is what it means for an influencer to become consumed by their own online presence, To be an influencer on social media is to market oneself to an anonymous online world. And when a person is marketed, the content being consumed is themselves. And in giving pieces of themselves away, they may soon find that they have nothing left to give. While falling into this loop may be
that's
easy,
scary.
breaking out of it is difficult, as too drastic of a change in personality risks alienation from an audience that may have taken years or even decades to build. This feedback loop, as rewarding as it may seem,
No, there's another way to fix that, right? So you only need to provide your real legal name, your ID documentation, and your bank card details for verification. In terms of what the public sees, that can be different. So once you are verified, you're more than welcome to choose a different username, right? But as long as the @bit, so you guys know it's Akelon, and then there's an @ there, that should be established once you verify. So when you sign up for verification, I can go, I want to be known as @Akelon. Okay, so that @ is now attached to my legal name in the back end. I can never change the @. It will always be @Akelon, because @Akelon legally ties to my legal name, because that's the one I chose. I can change my username as much as I fucking want. So the big name on Twitter, I'll quickly show you guys what I'm talking about, because that might actually be easier. Let's go profile. As you can see, this is me, by the way. I am all for absolute truth. I'm a truth teller. The gym is paying off. Just wanted to let you guys know. But so if you look here, I have Akelon here, and then I have @theAkelon just below it. So this one is the one that is tied to my legal name. When I sign up for verification, I don't think I ever will, but if I do sign up for verification, I have to choose this name, the @part, and that gets tied to my legal name. This name I can change to whatever the fuck I want the whole time, right? So I can literally call myself Akelon the Truth Seeker, and that's what I will be forever. And yeah, I think that's how you solve that issue fairly easily without people having to give their legal names online.
Is invariably unstable,
Oh yeah, I am
as
blood,
the
I know.
relationships from
I
which
look
it
good.
stems are entirely superficial in nature. And if or when an influencer's time has passed in the constantly shifting digital world, they may soon find themselves with an identity crafted for an audience that no longer exists, or, in the worst cases, for one that has turned against them.
Oof. Dude, it's such a scary fucking notion. One of the viewers made it, Nixty, and I just made it my fucking profile picture everywhere.
From 1692 to 1693, a small village of Puritan settlers
oh my
would
God.
be overcome.
Too many. I ended up going with an artist that I actually know. He made emotes for me back in 2018. So I'm going to work with him because I know him and I trust him. So hopefully he knows what the fuck he's doing. The others that DM'd me, a lot of them could not provide me with anything of value. And, they would say, yeah, I know World of Warcraft. And then they send me a picture of a guy holding a gun or having a fucking, bullet belt and grenades on his side and being like, oh, yeah, I know World of Warcraft. And it's like, oh, that's World of Warcraft? I didn't know. I've never made this character in my life, and I kind of know the game back to front. So yeah, a lot of the artists I would say is very fucking bad. So I'm just going with the one that I know. But I still want other I still want other artists as well, because I kind of want to use this as a way of highlighting amateur artists and new artists and things like that. And as I discussed yesterday, I also want to do cosplay models at some point as Patreon rewards. So there's like a bunch of things that I want to do for Patreon moving forward. And obviously it is to make money, but hopefully there's also a bit of, a bit of discovery there. Patrons can discover new cosplayers and shit like that. So hopefully that should work well. one of your videos on YouTube and was wondering if you were live. About how you doing? Are you going to cosplay as a Space Marine? No, I am Blood. So the plan currently is to get cosplay, like girls who cosplay, and get them to like provide us with some nice cosplays, and then just have that as Patreon rewards every month. Obviously, I pay them for their service, so they make a bit of money. I get to provide content to my patrons. Everyone's fucking happy.
With paranoia and misguided religious zealotry. After suffering pestilence and disease, and an absence of a clear reason for their misfortune, they created their own. They had fallen victim to foul curses and witchcraft. English Protestants called Puritans believed that the devil operated through human agents called witches in order to wreak havoc on the God-fearing innocent. Those who refused to conform were not treated kindly. Denying the existence of witchcraft was deemed to be a sign of guilt and would arouse suspicion. The accused would be given two choices: confess to an imagined crime or be hanged. Others who witnessed confessions and seeing forgiveness were encouraged to also confess when accused, legitimizing a dilemma created from thin air. Many sought to protect themselves by falsely implicating others before they themselves were accused, and some simply accused those they didn't like. There existed many methods.
Oh my god, he's literally fucking explaining the Puritan movement. The Puritan movement and the Salem witch trials, the witch hunts that happened. That's literally what we're seeing today with the woke movement on Twitter and elsewhere. What ended up happening is that sons would turn against their own parents as a way to prove that they are more pure than anyone else. Like, they would literally finger their parents and be like, yeah, they're witches. You know, they're evildoers. Just don't look at me. Don't fucking look at me. That's the problem with all of these movements. I have no doubt that, you know, the origins of the woke movement was noble. I have no doubt that a lot of people had very noble aspirations when they came up with it. But as with all things, humans will eventually fuck it up. And what you end up with is a movement that is just fucking terrible. Just absolutely miserable for everyone involved. And you see it, right? The leaders of the woke movement 2 years ago are now its victims. The same people that 2 years ago were considered so progressive and so fucking good and so fucking cool are now the very people that they're moving against because they're not woke enough. Which is just, it's fucking horrible.
Of testing an accused of witchcraft, including the swimming test, where they would be hogtied and thrown into a pond to see if they would sink or float. The test sought to provoke the judgment of God, as those believed to have rebuked the Christian sacrament of baptism would be rejected by the water, forcing them afloat, while those innocent would receive the gift of absolution in death, as they would sink helplessly to the bottom and drown. Some would be lucky enough to have a rope affixed to them in order to haul them back up, but this measure often proved to be inadequate due to the intensity of the test. There was also the prick test, where the accused is prodded with needles, and if they fail to bleed or feel pain in an area, dark forces were afoot. As word and panic spread across the colonies and Europe alike, some would call themselves witch hunters, a person who travels town to town, earning a wage for each supposed devil worshipper they expose. Though the profession today has been heavily romanticized, unsurprisingly, due to the financial incentive, many of these hunters were nothing more than con artists and opportunists who traded lives for coin through the use of trick tools with retractable blades and needles in order to fool unsuspecting townsfolk into believing that their neighbors were devil worshippers in disguise. This notorious case of hysteria is known today as the Salem witch trials. By its end, in Salem alone, 20 people were executed, hundreds more were imprisoned, and the event today is frequently referenced in studies of how human thinking and behavior change in order to conform with others in a group in a process known as herd mentality.
Yep.
While the madness of the colonial witch hunts has long since passed, the mechanisms that helped to incite them have been seen several times since.
You see, the problem is that it's not the... So you have a couple of con artists and truly evil people leading the movement. The vast majority of people truly believe that what they're doing is righteous and good. If you spoke to the vast majority of people during the Puritan movement and you asked them genuinely if they thought that they were doing the right thing, they would tell you, yes. Yes, I believe that I am doing the right thing. I believe that this is what God wants for me. Because they don't know that they're being herded. They don't know that they're being fucked. And that they're being lied to. And this is exactly what's happening today. It's the exact same thing, just transpiring online. Rather than, and we effectively execute people in the public space. You know, you have people today that is declared what's the word? There's a nice word for it. Is it excommunicado, I think? No. What's the word when you're no longer considered human? Excommunicado is when you're excommunicated from a community, but there's another ex something that basically dehumanizes you entirely, so you're no longer viewed as human at all. No, not dehumanized, but dehumanized is also a fine word for it. But I know that there is another, is it ex persona or fuck? Can't remember what it's called. Persona non grata. Thank you, East Village. Yes. There's so many people that is just 100% made persona non grata for the slightest misstep. It doesn't even have to. And the biggest issue is if you apologize, you're fucked. This is why I've always said, if you're at the forefront of a cancel campaign, do not apologize for anything. Because apologies are supposed to be a way for forgiveness, right? That's why we apologize. We say sorry so that we may be forgiven. For the mob, these days, apologies has nothing to do with forgiveness. Apologies simply mean that they can go. You give them the green light. Now they can really fucking come after you. If you don't apologize, you're fucked. If you do, it's never enough, and they fuck you anyway. Varaxu, the truth is, from all of the evidence we've seen, the ones who do not apologize tend to grow off of it. Like, cancel campaigns, if you do not apologize, your size sometimes doubles as a result of that.
Herd mentality is a form of social pressure, and the behavior of its members is influenced in part by de-individuation, the loss of a sense of identity in a group setting. Human behavior is heavily guided by personal responsibility and consequence. While under the watchful eye, we tend to behave more altruistically and exhibit less antisocial behavior. This is such a powerful force that even pictures of eyes are enough to make someone more likely to conform to social norms in a phenomenon referred to as the watching eye effect. While in a herd, judgment is shifted away from the individuals that the group is composed of to the group itself, minimizing concerns regarding evaluation by others, and in turn, skewing and weakening control over behavior that would otherwise cause guilt, shame, or fear. And as a result, the group becomes guided not by rationality, but rather emotion. It's an influence that everyone experiences, and whether it's positive or destructive depends on the circumstances. The eager fanaticism of a football crowd and the occasional riot afterwards are both examples of herd mentality influencing human behavior. So the question now becomes, what is the effect in the world of social media where names are replaced by pseudonyms, faces by avatars, distance measured in kilometers, and everyone is given the ability to join any group from anywhere in the world? The answer is de-individuation on a global scale, with the same blinding lust for repentance, no matter the cost. In the most extreme cases, situations have been created where one is pitted against tens of thousands, and an influencer who at one point held a supportive community sharing words of encouragement now witnessed them encouraging their destruction. Such was the case of Glorian Gold, an elderly RuneScape streamer who, because he looked similar to another man who was convicted of pedophilia, found himself in the sights of an online hate mob after he was misidentified in a web series. Even though rudimentary research would disprove the reckless claim within minutes, this did little to stop the weaponized herd from harassing him for crimes that was later revealed he had no part of. Or the case of Hana Kimura, a professional wrestler whom during the filming of a reality TV show would take her own life after becoming the victim of cyberbullying for having an argument with a fellow cast member. Some went to such extreme lengths that arrests were made, and when asked how they could harass someone in such a way, one defendant simply responded that many others were posting hateful messages and that he was simply following along. Or the case of Etika, a Nintendo-based content creator who in 2019 lost his battle with mental health after being relentlessly harassed by his own community and onlookers after he started behaving erratically. His parting wishes were that his story would help make social media a better place.
Yeah, but I do want to say another thing here, just to be very clear. While, yes, the internet is an absolute abysmal place, what bothers me is when you have these mentally ill people that know that they're mentally ill. They know that something is incredibly wrong. They know that the community that they once cherished is fucking destroying them. They don't step away from it. They keep putting out videos. They keep tweeting shit out. They keep going live. They keep pushing. They keep putting themselves in this position, and no one, not a single fuck of their fake friends, stands up and says, bro, step away. Step away. Just fucking detach yourself from the shit until you've sorted your mind out, until you've gotten your mental state under control, and then you can come back. But this is just, this is not on. You are fucking yourself over to the point where he commits suicide. Everyone knows the end of this story. He commits suicide because he couldn't deal with the online harassment and hate anymore. And yet he never really removed himself from the situation until, I think, 3 days before he finally just left and you know, ended it. Matt Season really got good into making documentaries. I love his editing, adding tension with music, his voice, full package. Oh yeah, this is such a good fucking video. It's a drug echo where we're all addicted and humans are evil when feed twisted shit like this. True. But this is why you need friends around you that can step in for you and say, dude, step away.
The witch trials have long since been over, but today, the same mechanisms that motivated them are thriving in these online environments. Influencers who find themselves wrapped up in these controversies, whether by their own hand or by bad luck, now satisfy viewers through an unintended manner, as evidenced through a new and thriving genre of entertainment known as The Rise and Fall, an independent documentary series focusing on humble beginnings and dramatic ends, highlighting people who at one point were celebrated and are now humiliated. Such a series portrays the fragility of...
So the issue is, Doc Savage, negative comments do get to everyone. And the problem is that human beings have this... we're drawn to negativity far more than what we have a negativity bias. So you can have a video where you have 100 comments and 99 of those comments are incredibly positive. But then you have one negative comment, and I felt that in my own life before, where that one comment will keep you up. Like, that one comment will keep you awake. You'll just be like, oh, fuck. Jesus, was it really that bad? Like, 99 of the people that commented were like, dude, this is the best video I've ever seen. I fucking loved it. And you have that one comment that says, yeah, worst video ever. Hate your voice. You're so fucking fat. Now, fat has never bothered me. People can call me fat. You know, I'm just using an example here. And that's the one that fucking destroys you. That's the one that you hyper focus on. And you're like, fuck, my career is over, I can't do anything right, what the fuck am I doing with my life, whatever, whatever the case might be. So imagine when the inverse finally happens. Imagine when 99 of the comments is negative, and there's only one comment that goes, bro, are you good? I love you, man. I hope that you come back soon. You don't even notice it. That one comment is just noise at that point, because all of these other fucking comments are just attacking you relentlessly. And yeah, sadly, we don't have laws against this. We don't have laws against piling when it comes to online stuff, even though piling can be incredibly bad.
The relationship between the influencer and their audience, and serves as a warning to others that although words and actions are broadcast into the online...
Doc Savage, no. Because what I'm talking about isn't just someone walking in and saying, you okay, bro? I'm talking about a friend that literally comes to you and says, bro, stop what the fuck you're doing. Think about what you're doing. Your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, your Twitter channel, whatever it is making you miserable. It's destroying your mental health. And yet you're still on there every single day, reading the comments, making content, trying to turn the ship around, and it's not turning around. Take a step back. Take a step back. Get out. Let's go on a trip. Let's go fucking do something fun. Let's go out for dinner. Get away from the toxic environment that is currently plaguing your every move online. You have to get out of there. Because there's also another thing where you're almost always going to put a lot more weight on someone that you actually know versus someone that you don't know. So if you just walk down the street and someone comes up to you and says, oh my God, you have such a small dick, go fuck yourself. That's going to probably not be great fun, but it's also not going to be too bad. But imagine if your wife or your girlfriend came up to you. You're in a loving relationship. You don't think anything is wrong. And your girlfriend just comes up to you and is like, oh my God, you have such a small dick. Go fuck yourself. I hope you die. That's going to hurt because you actually know this person. This person is actually an intimate part of your life. And if they say that, that's where things get really bad. And this is where we go back to the previous one thing that I said at the beginning of the stream. All of these streamers have so many fake friends that the friends that they have are also the people that's calling them sick and twisted and fucked up and, you know, wishing their careers to be over. So now you're not only dealing with strangers basically telling you how shit you are, you're dealing with supposed friends that's telling you how shit you are, because your friends also want to be on the right side of history. They don't want to ruin their channels by standing up for you. So they're effectively just going along with it. Destiny had this not long ago when he got booted off of Twitch. All of Destiny's friends turned against him. Literally almost all of them. The people that eventually reached out to Destiny were people like Trainwrecks, who isn't even necessarily a friend of Destiny. But he was like, bro, are you okay? You know, if you need money, just fucking talk, bro. I'll give you 100K. I'll give you 100K, you know, just let me know. So it was like, you know, he got friendship from a very unlikely place when all of his friends celebrated the fact that he was kicked off for hateful speech or whatever. This is exactly what happened to Reckful. I don't know the story of Reckful all that well, so I can't really comment on that. And people think they are supposed to have a lot of friends. Life isn't a beer commercial. If you have one or two real friends you can rely on in times of trouble, you are very lucky. Most people have none. Yeah, I would say you can't have that many friends. There's just no way that I would ever be able to handle friendship. I don't think I could handle more than like 4 friends at a time. That's probably my max that I could have at any given point.
World, they may very well have repercussions that invade their everyday lives. Just as how they're much more approachable personally, so too are they physically, as the protected, comfortable lifestyle of the classical celebrity they're often compared to is something they rarely share. Private information, such as real names and addresses, are becoming increasingly difficult to keep private, Laws against stalking remain vague and challenging to enforce, involving restraining orders, which ultimately amount to nothing more than pieces of paper. And due to the relatively recent rise of the influencer, law enforcement have struggled in properly adapting to the many newfound forms of harassment, perhaps the most extreme of which being swatting, the act of calling police local to a person's location and falsifying a dangerous situation in order to send armed officers after them. And at this point, lives have already been claimed by this form of online harassment.
Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Put your hands behind your back. Dude, that must be the scariest shit ever. Like, holy shit. Just police officers screaming at you? Fuck, that must be super scary, bro.
In some cases, some may even spawn their own dedicated microcosms, referring to them as lolcows, human piñatas of sorts whose entertainment value is likened to that of an ongoing train wreck, where, through their own actions or otherwise, can be regularly milked to the amusement of their spectators. Every deed, misdeed, action, or inaction is meticulously cataloged by dedicated groups of internet culture historians, a collective of people who craft biographies of lives made and destroyed in the chaos of the digital jungle. Ultimately, we're all the architects of our own successes and also that of our destruction.
I just don't understand the cops, if I'm honest with you. So here you have a guy that's sitting in front of his PC, just sitting there. And the cop runs in and he's like, get your hands in the air, get on the fucking ground, whatever. I mean, there's no threatening situation there. There's nothing threatening there. I mean, if the guy was sitting there with a fucking gun, sure, that would be a problem. But he's not sitting there with a gun, is he? Could have a weapon on them? Well, maybe, but as long as you're in a seated position with your hands on the table on a keyboard, I mean, even if you have the gun on your person, it's going to take you longer than it's going to take them to take action there. The traffic stop thing, I think, is a different thing entirely. So I've never understood why the US have only one police force and why you don't have traffic police. Because I'll tell you, in a country like South Africa, where violence is fucking everywhere, it happens so rarely in South Africa that a police officer actually kills a person that they pull over, just because the traffic police don't deal with high-strung situations, ever. You know, they're traffic cops. They give you speeding tickets and shit like that. I don't think most of them even pull their guns, and most of them that I get pulled over by don't even have guns because it's not necessary. If there is like a high-speed chase, the traffic cops will usually inform the cops that, hey, we need your help. You know, we have fucking problems here. There's a high-speed chase and the guy might be armed, so we need the cops there in order to deal with this should things get out of hand. But a routine traffic stop, I don't know. I've never heard of someone actually getting shot at a routine traffic stop here, because our traffic cops aren't trained to deal with every situation as if it's a high-stress situation. The cops are, because that's how you train cops, is to deal with high-stress situations, right? If you're annoyed that you're getting a speeding ticket and you have a gun. Oh yeah, but okay, so in South Africa, at least, most people deal with the cops in very respectful manner because the cops can be dicks. Because we have another problem in South Africa. We have a problem where the cops will sometimes be... Like, I know of a story of a guy that he crossed a solid line. Now, crossing a solid line in South Africa, I think it's $400 for every tire that goes over the solid line. So if you only crossed it with 2, it would be 800, you know, so on and so forth. And so the guy got pulled over by the traffic cops for crossing a solid line. The cops didn't even ask him questions. They literally pulled him out of his car, handcuffed him, threw him into the van, and took him down to the police station. At the police station, he was booked, and then he was put into what cops refer to as the raid cell. The raid cell is usually where they put, like, proper bad people into, right? So when they catch people raping or murdering or whatever, that's where those people await trial. They put him in there. He got raped that night. I think it's like 10 or 12 times that he got raped. And he got HIV just off of one night in prison for an offense that should literally have been a ticket. Like, the offense is a ticket. It's nothing else. That's what the law states. If you drive over a solid line, you get a ticket, $400 per tire that crossed. And they threw him in jail for that. So that's a problem that exists in South Africa. But in terms of being shot when you're pulled over, not really. And it is rare. Those situations, even those horrible situations, are very rare.
To market oneself is a willing choice. Both its positive and negative consequences must be prepared for, because as unforgiving as it may seem, when under the scrutiny of watchful eyes, there lies little room for error. It's a simple truth that humans are flawed creatures, and social media devours flawed creatures in brutal fashion, eager to make even the most vulnerable the target of an unrelenting campaign of harassment. Even still, no matter how hostile a situation becomes, either due to a financial or perhaps an emotional reliance, many of these influencers seem to be unable to walk away from their once captivating online presence, now turned tumultuous. As such, perhaps a skill as important as being able to build an online presence is the ability to detach from it, as if one fails to do so, they may run the risk of joining the many who have become prisoners of their own making. Forfeiting oneself to the scrutiny of hundreds, thousands, or even millions of people is a stress that transforms some and breaks others, as over the years, spectators have witnessed a pattern of mental health declining at a rate inversely proportional to growth.
Fuck. So the more famous people get, the more unhappy they get. Or mentally unstable they get. That's rough, bro. Fuck.
YouTube,
Doc Savage,
Twitch,
really appreciate that, bro.
and other similar platforms, due to their relatively unregulated nature, have given opportunities that were previously unfeasible for many to achieve, and the basic requirements in building it.
Heathen History, thanks for the 100 bits. I really appreciate that.
Usually, I would like to donate for some reactions again, but usually I am at work around this time. Embarrassed smiley face.
Heathen, I stream pretty much whenever I can. So, yeah, I really appreciate the 100 bits, bro. Yeah, it's whenever I can. Today, it happens to be earlier because I got all my shit done before 10 already. So I just started the stream. But other days, it can be 12 o'clock, sometimes it can be 2 o'clock. Sometimes I don't even get to stream. So it really depends. But Akko is out of sync with his voice. Do a quick reload, Domago.
An audience has shifted from agents, firms, and auditions to a marketable personality and a simple desire to entertain. However, just as how these hurdles are now bypassed, so too are the fundamental securities that they provide, as foregoing a public relations firm runs the risk of souring relations with the public, and to be more personable with a captive audience may in turn make themselves the captive. Though their beginnings were humble, as a standard, innovation was soon followed by industrialization. From the moment,
I'll just try to catch you whenever I can. Smiley face.
Heathen, I really appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I mean, I try to be live as often as humanly possible. I just, can't really say when that is. My country does not make that easy. Load shedding is a thing. So I kind of just have to work around the load shedding schedule, bro.
It was realized that there was profit to be made. The formula for what makes someone popular has since been analyzed and optimized, and the industry is beginning to come full circle, as today there exist agencies who train people and craft their lives and personality for the specific purpose of becoming social media influencers. With enough motivation, anything can be compromised and anyone can be influenced, as over the course of nearly 2 decades, viewers have witnessed the lengths that some are willing to go to in order to obtain the coveted life of the social media influencer, or conversely, the
It's just time zone issues, really. I'm German. Smiley face.
Guten Tag, brother. Guten Tag. How's solar power plant going? I mean, it's going. It's super fucking expensive, but it is going. I'm still saving up for it. Hopefully I'll be there at some point. What I don't look forward to in this new house is the fact that this house falls outside of the Cape Town area, like literally just by one neighborhood. I think it's one of 2 neighborhoods that's in Gordons Bay that hasn't yet been incorporated into the city of Cape Town. So there I won't be saved from load shedding. I'll have to deal with load shedding. Yeah, that's gonna blow dick, but you know, is what it is. I just have to make do. Load shedding sounds like a euphemism for jerking off. Dude, I fucking wish. Do you buy or are you renting? Bought the house. So yeah, no, I'm done renting. There's so many fucking bullshit things around renting, bro.
lengths they'll go to escape from it. Regardless, to derive value from or to give weight to these fickle, one-sided relationships is a reoccurring pitfall that both influencer and influenced repeatedly fall victim to. And today, they continue to walk the fine.
I should be clear, it's not my house, not mine alone. It's me and my brother that bought the house. So I didn't buy the house myself because originally I didn't want to buy a house. And then he wanted to buy a house, and I was like,
I'll help you with saving up. Smiley face.
Fine.
I have some more Warhammer stuff I want you to know and see.
Oh, thank you very much. Heathen History. Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to watch it. Unless your country is nearing a socialist communist revolution soon, buying is the better option, yes. Yeah, but I also dislike buying. Because now you owe the bank more money, at least in South Africa. So right now, if you buy a house in South Africa right now, you're looking at about 9.5 to 10% interest rates on your house, which is very high. Because if you extrapolate that over a 30-year bond, it's almost double. You're paying double what the house is actually worth. So, yeah, you kind of have to make that decision and just fucking run with it.
Fine line between building communities and fostering the inevitable parasocial relationships formed in the process. Both viewer and creator are continuously influenced by forces they don't know exist. Human emotion and gift of self have been wholly industrialized, and the online ecosystem is one ripe for abuse of all manner, serving as the stage for humanity's greatest drama of all,
but I don't
a
think it
form
will.
of reality TV unrivaled in both its realism and its deceptiveness, leaving in its wake legacies involving not just creativity, inspiration, and passion, but also duplicity, manipulation, obsession, and in some cases, bloodshed. As such, when contemplating and marketing oneself to the world of social media, the question may not be whether or not if success is possible, but rather, what are the consequences if one manages to obtain it, because some boxes, when opened, may never be closed again.
Dude, this video is so well edited.
Friends will tell you they love Facebook because they can stay connected. But are some people taking it to the extreme?
I'm fucking tired of all of it! Oh, I'm done! I'm fucking done!
You all are just ultimately, really, crazily. You are so super fucked up!
Hush!
I'd like to add a word about safety, though. The internet is not a regulated environment.
But last summer, our family says one of those followers showed up at the family's Florida home with a gun.
Some even
attempted to breach the door with, I presume, the shotgun.
People are in a fantasy world. It feels good for them.
He started staring through my letterbox, and like this letterbox would slowly close as his eyes disappeared, and he'd follow me to shops. He threatened to kill me.
There are anti-stalking laws on the books in all 50 states, and the challenge is how do you enforce the requirement to stay away?
The suspect reportedly knocked on the front door asking to meet the teen. He also messaged the victim's family members saying he would take their son.
But when police arrived, they don't find the alleged caller, Tyler Barris. He was 1,300 miles away in Los Angeles, allegedly playing a prank. One officer, fearing Finch was reaching for a gun, opens fire, killing him.
Oh my fuck.
The internet gave us a whole world of exciting new possibilities. So I guess this is a story of how it changed our lives. Maybe it will yours too.
Eerie as fuck editing. Like, holy shit. Much good. Much good. No thanks, Nixie. I'm alright. I'd rather not do that. I fucking hate taking out the trash. Wow. Really took a turn from WoW gameplay videos? Yeah. I mean, this is definitely a next step in terms of documentary making, which is good. It is so well done. I really enjoyed that. I really fucking enjoyed that. Anyways, chat, let me quickly go to the bathroom, stretch my legs a bit, and then I'll be back. So get up and go do something, chat, because I'm going to play an ad now. I'll be right back. I'm back, chat. Are you asking what is a good flying mount for Tauren Warrior? I have no idea. Big ass dragon, maybe? Partnership might end in 2023. People have told me about that, but I haven't seen it myself. No. Can you guys provide me with a link for that? Will it be on Wowhead? Maybe. Grumfield, welcome back, brother. So there's no link yet. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So Activision Blizzard third quarter 2022 financial results. Microsoft merger expected mid 2023. Activision Blizzard released its third quarter financial results for the year of 2022, announcing stronger than expected earnings and reaffirming that the Microsoft merger is expected to complete by the middle of next year, though an interesting footnote indicates that there may be some future disruption for Blizzard Entertainment titles in China. Due to the pending acquisition by Microsoft, the financial results have been presented without the usual conference call, though a quote from CEO Bobby Kotick congratulated employees on the huge success of recent releases and stating that the Microsoft merger is expected to close by June 2023. Our games are the result of passion and excellence. This comes from an environment that fosters inspiration, creativity, and an unwavering commitment to develop and support our talent. Our employees' dedication and teamwork are at the heart of an extraordinary workplace that enables the magic embodied in our games. Dude, the guy is speaking to investors, and it's all just PR speak. We look forward to continuing to release epic entertainment in service of our global community of players as a part of Microsoft, one of the world's most admired companies. We continue to expect that our transaction will close in Microsoft's current fiscal year ending June 2023. I mean, I'm looking forward to the merger. I do think that Blizzard can really benefit from Microsoft. But most importantly, I really hope that once Microsoft is firmly in control of Activision Blizzard, they fire Bobby Kotick. Because that dude is evil as fuck. So in terms of net revenues, they've made $1.7 billion in quarter 3. It's down from 2021, but that makes sense. Better than expected, I guess. Net bookings, 1.8. Actually, 3 months ended September. Net bookings, 1.8 billion. An increase of 51. 9 months ended. It's 4.9 billion. Okay, it's not too bad. So it is down from... It is down year on year, but obviously higher than, decreased. Sorry, yeah. It decreased by 51. Sorry, Doc Savage, yeah, you're right. I misspoke there. Down from its previous, but still higher than expected. This is up, though. In-game net bookings. Oh, shit, that is interesting. Are you guys seeing this? So in-game net bookings would be in-game purchases. Net bookings would be purchases and I think game purchases specifically. Game purchases, subscriptions, things like that would be net bookings. In-game net bookings. That's up. Interesting. Big Trouble in Little China. While most franchises are experiencing increased player retention and profits, an interesting footnote in the Blizzard Entertainment section of the quarterly report indicates there may be some future disruption in Blizzard operations in China, citing difficulty in renewing publishing agreements. Currently, we have licensing agreements with a third party covering the publication of several Blizzard titles in China. These agreements, which contributed approximately 3% of Activision Blizzard's consolidated net revenues in 2021, expire in January 2023. We are in discussions regarding the renewal of these agreements, but a mutually satisfactory deal may not be reached. We continue to see substantial long-term growth opportunities for our business in the country. The co-development and publishing of Diablo Immortal is covered by a separate long-term agreement. Are you guys happy about that? So it is separate, Viraxu, so Diablo Immortal will not be impacted by this. I can tell you now, this to me doesn't matter. It's sort of an either-or situation. Because name a good Chinese company when it comes to gaming. They're all equally shit. So whether Blizzard is working with NetEase or maybe switching over to Tencent or to any of the others, they're all scumbags. It doesn't really fucking matter. What is interesting and what will be interesting is what's happening in America right now. So the US is decoupling from China at, quite frankly, neck break speeds. How long before the US government effectively blocks companies from doing business with China in its entirety? So for now, the American government is blocking any tech companies from selling their tech to China. But I don't think it's going to be long before the American government blocks companies from doing business with China. Because America is decoupling. America is basically giving up on China 100%. Going to happen due to their chip making. Domago, China's chip making, what are you talking about? China doesn't make chips. Or at least the chips that China makes, America makes as well and better. There's exactly 2 countries in the world that you can get high semiconductor chips from, and that would be Taiwan and America. America produces chips themselves. Not nearly enough yet, but they are. China does not make chips. China gets all of its chips from Taiwan. And China doesn't have the technology to make any better chips. So, no, as far as... no, Taiwan is not China. At least not in real terms. Taiwan makes like 75% or something crazy for the world supply. True. I think the minerals come from China, no? Caleb, I mean... If you're talking purely minerals, the US already have all of the raw materials required to make those chips themselves. So that in and of itself would not really be an obstacle. Also, most of those minerals are fairly easy to get from almost everywhere in the world. So you wouldn't need China for the raw materials of making those chips. What's far more important is TSMC, right? The Taiwanese semiconductor company, because they have all of the tools, all of the manufacturing, things like that. China is the last province of Taiwan. Well, I think China would disagree. Yeah, China can disagree all they want. The world is not giving up on Taiwan, and Taiwan is almost never going to be part of China. Not until Taiwan outlives its usefulness. So, yeah, no, I don't necessarily, I personally, I think the writing is on the wall for the whole, Chinese Western experiment. I think the West has given up on that. So I don't know how that's going to influence companies like Blizzard and other AAA companies as they move forward, because it does seem like politically, most of these countries no longer want to play together. And to be fair, though, China is still actively funding Russia, which is one of the reasons why the world is so fed up with them. While China does not contribute a significant portion of Activision Blizzard's total revenue, citing it as only 3% of the company's consolidated revenue, it is an important market for Blizzard Entertainment specifically, where World of Warcraft, Diablo, and Hearthstone specifically are much more popular. Although the investor earning report is light on details, the unnamed third party is NetEase, one of the largest internet companies in the world, which has published Blizzard Entertainment games since 2008. That is a long relationship to just let go. They expanded the relationship into games development, working together to create Diablo Immortal, which, despite criticism, has been very successful, particularly in China, where it is ranked in the top 10 grossing mobile games since its launch last July. Wow, so they are making a ton of money off of this. They're still making more. This is what I don't understand. When the company is still making more money in the West, like, just look at that. In the West, it's making almost all of its money. Why are they putting so much, why are so many companies putting so much onus on being more sort of Asian-centric, you know, in terms of the monetization options and all that shit. I gotta go, Akko. I gotta get stuff done. And thank you very much, Nixty. I really appreciate that. Take care of yourself. If China attacked Taiwan, we would have a world war, unlike Russia and Ukraine, because Taiwan is too important for the West. Oh, yeah. America would absolutely go to war for Taiwan. Ukraine, on the other hand, in terms of just pure importance, Ukraine isn't important at all. The only reason the West is currently funding the Ukraine war is because, you know, it doesn't want Russia to expand. But in terms of sort of location and importance, Ukraine has nothing on Taiwan. The population, like India, is Asian, and India has a huge population that is slowly coming to the online age. And once they do, India will control a lot of the net just by population. That could be true. Ukraine is important if you buy their wheat to feed your population. Doc Savage, but again, nothing stops the US and Ukraine from telling Russia, okay, you can take Ukraine and then just continue to trade with Russia. Buy your wheat from Russia. You'll still get your wheat. You'll only now buy it from Russia and you won't buy it from Ukraine. So that's not really why the West is defending the Ukraine. I don't think, because technically speaking, but if you're talking about semiconductors, whole different discussion. Because if China takes Taiwan, the West is now fully reliant on China for their chips. And if China goes, fuck you, the West is done. Because everything runs with those chips. Performance declined year over year, primarily reflecting lower results for Call of Duty and product cycle timing at Blizzard Entertainment, enough to offset otherwise robust growth at King. Although not offering future protections, the news of Diablo Immortal's launch, Diablo 4 internal testing, Overwatch 2 public testing, an upcoming World of Warcraft mobile announcement, and teasing COD 2022 is the most advanced experience to date, all suggests renewed growth over the remaining year. Activision has 97 million monthly active users, up from 94 million. Blizzard Entertainment has 31 million monthly active users, up from 27 million. That is, finally, I think Blizzard must be very happy about this. Because Blizzard Entertainment have been falling year on year, quarter on quarter for a long time now. In a rare twist, Blizzard gained nearly 5 million monthly active users, largely attributed to the release of Diablo Immortal, of which over half the game's player accounts are new to Blizzard. October 4 saw the global launch of... Okay, that is actually... Wait. That's not that good. So, October 4 saw the launch... I didn't even... I forgot that Diablo Immortal is... part of the discussion here. We know that Diablo Immortal had over 30 million registered subscribers. Okay. 30 million registered subscribers. Now, it doesn't mean that all 30 million of those registered downloads are actually playing the game. A lot of people may have just signed up for the sake of signing up. But if they're saying that half of those... you can probably attribute that entire 5 million almost to Diablo Immortal. There's a very reasonable chance that of the 5 million, a good 3, maybe even 4 million would be Diablo Immortal, which means Overwatch 2 did not do anywhere near as well as Blizzard had hoped. It didn't bring in that many new people. It just basically gave all of the old people just something to play. And, well, not sure how well World of Warcraft Wrath is doing at the minute, but probably not that well if the number is only up by 5 million, and that in a quarter that included Diablo Immortal as a launch. So that might actually be a little bit problematic, if I'm honest. Imagine Blizzard count just to play Diablo Immortal. Overwatch 2 does not count. Quarter 3 is still 30 September and Overwatch 2 released for October. Oh, yeah, you are correct. You are correct. Overwatch 2 would not be counted. Although they do added year. October 4 saw the global launch of Overwatch 2 with a free-to-play model designed to allow more people than ever before to experience the acclaimed team-based action game over 35 million. Oh, they're not actually saying that it's included. Yeah, you are correct. Sorry, I didn't think about that. Can I read what? What are you asking? Obviously does not count. China does not control the chips. China hoarding, buying chips en masse after sanctions by US. Wait, but what's your point there? Oh, you're talking to Varaxu, never mind. So Overwatch numbers should still come in. How many people do you think Overwatch brought in? Like, do you guys have a guess? Like, a close guesstimate of how many people you think Overwatch brought in? Because I'm gonna put it maybe 2 to 3 million, I would say, for Overwatch 2. And also, the other problem is, I don't know how many of the people that is actively playing Overwatch 2 is going to continue to play Overwatch 2. Because it is very similar to Overwatch 1 in all but name. So, somewhere between Jack and shit. Is the real one on the site. They say 35. Doubt they're going to stay, though, D-Wolf. I'm not talking about, I'm asking in the next quarter. Because remember, monthly active users is of the 3 months that you have, right? So you have a 3-month period. That's your quarter. It's 3 months. So over those 3 months, the majority of players have to be on for the majority of months. So let's say your first month, you have 35 million people playing. No problem. That's rather good. But then over the next few months, you need more people. If the 35 number holds steady, which it could because it is a free-to-play game, which is obviously going to mean a lot of fucking first-person Andes are going to play it, then it means Blizzard Entertainment's active monthly users is going to go up to over 60 million. I don't think it's going to hold at 35 million, but I could be wrong. That's 60 million. That is strong as shit. Like, that is very strong. It's kind of a remake. It probably doesn't lure you in that much. Don't go, but the difference between it, and that's what I didn't think of, is that this one is free. So the first one had the barrier of actually having to be purchased, which obviously means that a lot of people will not have the money to purchase it, especially younger people that, you know, is sort of very much into this first-person game style, like gameplay loop, but they don't have that money, so they can't actually purchase the game. This one is free, though, which means that all of your fucking, all of your, what's this game? The Battle Royale, the massive Battle Royale, all of those people are going to give Overwatch a try, and some of them might actually like it. So there's a very good chance that Overwatch grows to 40 million, if not 50 million, by the time we get the next results. Good Phonic, how you doing, brother? I don't think it's going to be off the mark as of yet, but it will pop off when PvE finally launches. I don't think PvE is the driving force behind this, D-Wolf. I think there's a lot of people that is excited for PvE, but in terms of first-person shooter games, it's the PvP that drives it. That's what people want. So, no, I don't expect... I expect PvE content to probably bring in... Maybe on its own, it can bring in about 2-3 million people. Maybe, because it's also going to cost money. You're not going to get those for free. You have to actually physically buy the game in order to get the PvE content. So, I don't expect those to bring that many people in. It's only free for people who started at one. Royal Raven, no. So, Overwatch 2 PvP is completely free. It's the PvE that you have to pay for. So if you want the PvE missions, you actually have to pay for it. And I do think there's a reason why they did it that way. They knew that the majority of people are gonna get Overwatch for the PvP. And they want that free because they want to make money on the battle passes. They want to make money on the cosmetics, things like that. On the Euro sales and all that shit. The PvE side, they can charge for because they know that they're not going to get all that many people in on it. So it doesn't matter that they're putting that behind a paywall. Yeah, I got it for free as well. D-Wolf, I still don't think that that's going to bring that many people in. Because it might be like an MMO PvE experience. But it's not going to be that long. It's not going to have the longevity of an MMO. I could be wrong, right? It could turn out that I'm completely wrong, but I don't think I am. I genuinely don't. Like Overwatch 2 reached its peak at this point. I wouldn't say that. Never underestimate the power of a free-to-play fucking game, bro. Like, never underestimate the power of a free-to-play game. Free-to-play games can be very powerful. Because, remember, like I said, a lot of people may have, like, they may have the, like, they may want to play games, but not a lot of people have the money to play games. And so what they end up doing is they only play free games. I have a cousin that's like that. I have no idea who started battle passes, but yes, I agree with you guys. It is absolute dog shit. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a battle pass in a free-to-play game, it is what it is, you know? It is a free-to-play game. You have to make your money somehow. What I don't like is when battle passes get disgusting. That I don't like. A bit of gotcha mechanics. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry, Z-Boy. It's almost definitely going to happen.
It is a priceless relic.
The hell is falling? We still haven't opened that fucking chest, by the way. And I don't know where to open that chest. Like the Halloween event in O2, you can't earn a single thing for free anymore. What the fuck is the point of the event? Well, because it's a free-to-play game, bro. But free-to-play doesn't mean you have to, or you get things for free. It just means that you don't know exactly how much you're paying for the things that you're getting for free. Okay, so there's a door with runes on it. But where the fuck are the runes? It's usually... Okay, no, that's not it. Could it be up there somewhere? No. Rykar, how you doing, bro? Dude, I know I'm missing this fucking rune. I just don't know where it is. Let's check in here. What looked like a giant fan? And again, don't expect it to be in here either. Because that's not really how this shit works. Dude, this is gonna drive me nuts. Raskiv, how you doing, brother? It's also important to remember that core founder Blizzard is pretty much gone. A lot of them geeks and gamers replaced by corporate scum. I don't even know if it's the geeks and gamers that's been replaced by corporate scum. I think it's a case of you have this giant shift in culture. And I think a lot of the gamers, so let's say the old school gamers have become so involved in this new era of culture that they just accept it as fine. It's okay, you know. People don't mind because I don't mind. So why would people mind? The fuck is that? That's just a piece of wood. Alright, chat. I don't know where the hell to find this. I might be losing my mind, but the Lord knows where this thing may be. 2 runes. But where the fuck am I supposed to get it? That doesn't do jack shit. Can I throw... Oh, that is not an opening. I'm just gonna have to leave this, I guess. Yes, now it's more in touch with its employees. Who's more in touch with its employees? Let's give it one final scan. Oh, there's one. Shit, chat. You blind fucks. Okay, that's 2. But now we have to keep looking. We have one more. Man, that one was hiding like a little bitch. No! Alright, just keep looking. Look carefully, chat. Don't be hasty. Tell me what you see, chat. Do you see a rune? I'm just playing now. It's a blind playthrough, no? Well, yeah, for the most part. Oh, you little slut! Got it. Oh, shit. Easy. Now we can go, chat.
Once you retrieve the whetstone, please take utmost care while handling it. It is a priceless relic, after all.
Yeah, I don't even know what you want with the whetstone.
I don't think the lad's doing too well.
I'm fine.
I see a big red apple with a black top on my screen.
If so,
what?
Then keep up.
Hey, fuck you.
Yes, sir.
You're calling me an apple? How dare you, sir? Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go.
I just realized. Magni didn't come back to life.
That is interesting. It's known the Aesir find their own way to Valhalla. No Valkyrie escort, no processing at the gates of Helheim. That may be significant.
Wait, was Magni not supposed to... Was Magni not supposed to die? Caleb, I'm never ignoring a chest in my life. You don't have to worry about that shit, bro. That's not the kind of man I am. I would never ignore something that important. Okay, now I need an ice crystal. Wait, what the fuck? So where am I supposed to get this crystal?
Look, back near the giant's head.
Okay, this is not helpful. Wait.
What is this place?
Fishermen would bring their day's catch into this port and use that contraption to send some of it directly to the Jarl's main kitchen. The rest were sorted and sold.
No.
There's an exit under the thumb.
Something's wrong.
Find a way across.
Something's wrong. Maybe we have a crystal. Ah. You little slut. Gotcha, fam. How you doing? This is exactly what I want. Love Craig's voice actor for this game. Forget his name, but it's the black guy from Stargate. Dude, the voice actor is phenomenal. But we watched we watched the cinematic between him and Thor, the fight between him and Thor the other day, and it seemed different. Dust of the Realms. Did they use a different voice actor, or is it the same voice actor, just he just sounds different? Perfectly, even with the option of having 2 weapons through whole game, unlike old ones where you had more. Some iconic WoW characters would look really good in single player games like this. Wish that this could see. Dude, imagine a World of Warcraft that is single player. D-Rocker, I would say superior to console, but I could be wrong. I'm playing mouse and keyboard right now, and I'm having the time of my life. It's good. It's smooth. The controls work perfectly. Okay, I'm almost definitely gonna have to do something. But what? Can I push this?
Opening.
I can get it.
What is he supposed to
There's a path to the exit.
do?
On the other side.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, I think I know. I have to move this thing across for my son. Just make sure I don't miss anything. Alright, here we go. Oh, fuck. He's dying. Can you guys hear that? But now how the fuck do I get up? He needs to throw that chain down. Yeah, the kid's got the coof. Hey, kid. Can you help, or... What the fuck am I supposed to do here? He can probably throw it over. Wait, maybe he can do...
There's a rope up here.
Throw it down, boy. Wait, I think I know what I'm supposed to do. Wait, no. Yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. Bring that up, and then freeze it in place.
I think that did it.
Yeah, the kid's definitely got the coof. It's not good, boys. It's not good. He doesn't sound like he's gonna make it. No. That would be dumb. Why would it be dumb? Right, I'm not entirely sure why you have to climb down the whole time, but never mind. I'm not missing anything, right? Except for that giant door. Chest and some of those rocks. No, but I couldn't do anything with those rocks, so that'll make no sense.
Back under his palm. We're almost there.
I think we've already done this
Everything
bit.
we just did. Climbed around a dead giant, rode a giant falling hammer, fought some bad gods. What do you think Mother would say?
Bet you have come a long way.
Where? Where, Domago? What chest? On a stream? Liar. So what do you think about the Norse gods in this game? I think it's fucking phenomenally well done. Like, just absolutely incredible.
Father, over there.
I even like the way you have to deal with the doors, bro. Like, it's not just opening it because you have the knowledge of how to open it. Dude, what the fuck?
I see something over there.
Are you for real? Oh. Dude, no way. Okay, it can't be. Jesus, that was a lot of things. Hidden chambers. Probably about to fight some things.
Look here. Another.
Ah, you know this one, don't you?
It's Thamur, the giant stonemason. Is he building a wall around Jotunheim?
It was to be his masterwork. He only wanted to protect his people.
Too bad the first part got burned.
I'd prefer the last panel was burned. Such a senseless pity.
That is senseless. Absolutely senseless. What is this? What is this magical room? What does the magical room do? This is an elevator. This might be a problem, chat.
This place. It feels like
Chase with zoom,
That
and
would
it goes
explain
through
the
the
hefty
room.
magical lock on the outside.
but it's more than that.
Chase,
I have this
nice,
feeling.
Alvar.
Like something is waiting for us down here.
You've a knack for ominous statements, lad.
Something's
What kind of
waiting for
something?
us down here. Well,
I'm not
that's
sure.
a bit scary.
Something powerful.
Whatever you feel, boy, we will handle it. We have come this far, yes?
Yes, Father.
That's not ominous at all. Yeah, it does look like it's fight time now. Let's go up first before we go down. Down is always scarier than up. I don't even have Spartan Rage. If this really is a strong fight, I'm not going to be ready for it. Yeah, the convenient health. 2 of them? Oh, God. I see the thing. 3! Oh, shit, boys.
A Valkyrie? Imprisoned? She actually did it.
A Valkyrie? But I thought they were just spirits.
Take caution, lads. A Valkyrie in the flesh. I can't think of a more formidable opponent.
She does not attack.
Does she even know we're here?
Defeat the Valkyrie.
I think she knows we're here now.
Yep, here we go.
Valhalla shuns the likes of you.
Jesus. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god. Jesus. Jesus. Alright, bitch. Fucking hell. Okay, she hurts a lot. I need help. I need help. Yep, I needed help. Fuck. Okay, she does hurt a lot, actually. Jesus, the double attack is real? Oh my Jesus, that one's fucking hit me. Whoo. Jesus, just like that. Fuck you, bitch. It's punch time. Get off my dick. Fucking punch him in the dick! Jesus, she hurt so much. Fuck, I'm pretty sure I blocked that. Did I not block that? Dude, I'm pretty sure I fucking blocked that. But never mind. We'll do it again. Fuck it. We'll do it again. This was quite a tough fight, actually. A lot tougher than I thought it would be. Ooh, another chest. Wait, does she lock this door? I don't think she locks the door, no? I body blocked it? Yeah. I mean, I tried. There we go. Yeah. Oh my god.